What up?
Hey.
Just gonna sit down here and relax. Based.
There you go, AC. How is everybody doing this Tuesday? AC, stop strobing.
I was
strobing?
Oh yeah, the whole show with the accents of the character, but I don't think I could maintain for this long.
You mean a
Sounds better than
bad?
his.
You mean a yeah?
Wait, what?
That sounds better than his.
This vote may not go the way you
SEAS
wanted to go
Highlander.
there, Justin. I'm forewarning you right now. I'm still undecided.
Hey, boys.
Well, what are we going to talk about tonight, Kahuna?
Tonight, we are going to be discussing a variety of projects, including
There can only be one Highlander.
We'll be discussing a lot of other stuff, but I don't have the list in front of me, and I'm forgetting.
It's on the
Hold on.
thumbnail. Somebody look at the thumbnail real quick.
We have the discussion topics right here. Execution versus enjoyment. Real bobs versus fake bobs. Who put that there? That's not right. How to write compelling dialogue. Value and style over substance. And much, much more.
I don't think compelling dialogue was this week, but we'll roll with it.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
It was
But
style,
either
and
way.
substance, book covers, and connected universe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what I
those are the
said. What I
ones.
said.
Yeah.
We have all of them here. But yeah. So, Justin, do you have a summary of our movie?
Whoa. Let's do a roundabout. We'll start the show.
Nobody's talking. I invited you. Fine. I'm in charge.
Boncher, tell me how your week's going, damn it.
Yeah,
He
welcome,
is the
Boncher.
captain now. Do you know
That's
D-Way?
how it's going.
Do you know D-Way?
That's how it's going.
It's making a sound of a fat man drop from high altitude. No, it's not going too bad at all. That's all there is to it. No, things aren't going too terribly bad. We just we did Big Lick Comic-Con this last weekend, and I have a
Big Lick.
Roanoke, West Virginia, or Roanoke, Virginia.
I've always wanted to go there.
It's an interesting town. It's sort of like if they dropped Madison, Wisconsin in the mountains in many respects. I can't put my finger on it. It just gives me that vibe. But yeah, since we live about 2 hours away, it's a nice short jaunt. Once again, Big Lick proved to be a really good kind of networking place for us. We got to see some people that we had met at other cons, and that was kind of nice. I had a couple people that bought books from me last year come rushing up to get the sequels right away.
Nice.
And one
That's
guy,
awesome.
oh yeah, one guy. This is the fun part. Is one guy I'm going to do a little shout out. Green Archer Comics. They are doing a remake of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, as a comic book. He's got 4 issues out already. Highly recommend it. I got his right here. I even got his bookmark. So he was very kind to give me or come over, buy the first
Very
book
pulp,
of,
very noir looking. I like
oh,
it.
very much. It's an update too. He's updated it from being an insurance investigator to being a cyber fraud investigator. So it's actually got a nice but it's all
Not
done
cyber
very
fraud.
noir. Not
He's
cyber
been
fraud.
investigating Ethan Van Sciver. Yeah.
No, there's nothing to see there. Nothing to see there. Do not touch that train wreck.
Not for a long time, anyway.
But so Green
This campaign's
Archer
been going
Comics-
on for 3 years. Where are the books? Where are they? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
and so I wanted to give him a shout out because he bought the first one of my Dream Nebula books. Then on Saturday, then came rushing up on Sunday doing a live cast, and he's like, "You got to buy these books. These are great. Some great pulp." And he bought the next 2 books then. So I was like, okay, that was really kind of cool to have happen. He read the entire first book in one night at a con on top of it all. So I'm like,
That is how
how
it should be. Those books should be read. They're very little, very little. I
You
love
say
how
that
little they
almost-
are.
Pulp is the future.
If I was
Oh,
a fat
yeah.
chick and I had enormous bobs, I would just put them in the bra right there. Read it on the subway.
It's where Stephen King, Lovecraft, many greats come from, like Flash, pulp.
Oh yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
Carrie is a pretty short book, but it's still one of his best to this
So is
day.
Christine.
I haven't
Well,
read
he-
Christine yet.
Cujo.
He got so in tune with it that he just knocked out the Dark Tower, I believe. He boasts about that. Just like that's his what's it called? Pantsing. That's him pantsing. is
You're
the
Talking about the
Dark
guy
Tower.
that took copious amounts of coke to
That
finish all
guy,
his
yeah.
books.
He doesn't.
and
there are
got
whole
sleep.
He doesn't
books
remember
even
Kojak.
remember writing.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
remember
doesn't
doing
remember
Cujo.
Kojak.
Cujo.
All right,
Yeah,
all right,
wh-
AC. What do you got
Cujo
going
is
on?
one of my favorites, though, man. I don't get
Cujo,
it. It's
my
not
bad.
fair.
I didn't
AC.
care
Sticking
for
with
Cujo,
Kojak.
AC.
But anyway,
AC, tell us of your life. Tell us about your wonderful wife and child running around.
They're doing great. They're doing great. Booba's saying things. He said banana the other day.
Ooh.
He was
Banana.
like banana.
Apples and banana.
He was like bananas. We got bananas. And then my wife.
He
is
does this
appearing
too.
With, my wife's appearing. Yeah, my wife's appearing with me on Belmont Press's show, The Man Cave.
His comic show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna
Hell
talk a Saga
yeah.
of Sunsets since she's
Hell
my
yeah.
editor. We're a team, so those listening, invite
Imagine
us.
getting along with your wife. Couldn't be me.
It's crazy.
do I have
in
to
this day
sick
and age.
Bambo on you? Do I have to?
No, you
Do I
don't
need
have to
pull the
sick Bambo
card?
on anybody,
Oh,
Boncher.
Okay.
Except maybe Kahuna.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll sick you. I'll sick her on the Kahuna.
She's one of the people at the event who could talk more than you. It was pretty impressive.
She and you did not hit her two hot button topics of theology or the Lord of the Rings. And then
Oh,
pretty much
wow.
I'm like,
What?
hell,
My
I'm
wife
out.
didn't bring up Lord of the Rings with their tattoo and everything. Oh, what?
And only
What?
passing, maybe. Yeah,
That's
but
insane.
also then there would have been this wall of text that would have pushed everybody off the
Sick
property,
Bambo
down
on
the
them.
road. You'd have found
Yeah.
yourself in a cornfield from the amount of Tolkien
From all the cornfields
references.
in Iowa.
If I take one more step, I'll be the furthest away from home
Those
I've
are
ever
beautiful.
been. Every single
Yeah.
step from there on out.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
So-
you stop again, turn back again. The next step I take will be the biggest step, the furthest I've ever been. You take another step, turn back. The next step I take.
Someone edited a version of Lord of the Rings where that little clip plays every time someone takes a step closer.
I did see that. I did see that. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
But yeah,
remember
no.
how
AC
long
has
it
his
was.
comic up on Fund My Comic, so guys go there, back it.
Saga of
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
/ ASOS, fundmycomic.com.
I bought
Oh, no.
my
Yeah.
days with it.
I have summoned Bambo to the chat, just so you know. She's a fan of Highlander, the TV
It
series.
sounds like
Oh, okay.
a high.
The
It sounds like a
Tyrion
high cost spell. I've summoned Bambo in the chat.
Summon.
Based.
Yeah.
I therefore summon Bambo. First
So-
of her name, Queen of the Land.
In
my-
attack mode.
For myself, I unsurprisingly have got another 5-star review on Planet Babel, Dawn Edge. I pretty much get them every day at this point. It's really
That's so
unsurprising
weird.
how
I've been
good
putting
it-
those.
the-
I
the
keep on
book is.
posting those 1 stars, and it doesn't seem to make an impact.
Did you just say I, or did you mean we?
We, yeah. Sorry, but thank you for the correction. But hey, tomorrow I got my show going on. It's going to be a weekly thing at 11 Eastern Time. The Bat Cave. And tomorrow, I can mention it now because the Kickstarter is out. Brandon Sanderson has a new release tabletop RPG,
Yep,
and my wife,
Otherwise games. Yep.
and my wife is been selected as a beta to do the DM, and yeah, so we got a little I got a little background on that, and I'm going to talk about it. I got some opinions about the announcement and everything. So
Real quick. So they grabbed her as a beta, but did they ever look at you?
no,
Never
they
mind.
only see me as an alpha,
Oh, okay. Obviously,
Sigma, or whatever.
Obviously,
No.
a Sigma porpoise man. There we go.
Sigma Force. All right, Justin, you
Justin!
take on. What do you got?
What do you got
How's it
going
going,
on,
y'all?
man?
I'm tired, but I'm
Oh, shut up!
I am like the rims on my car.
Sure,
So
sure.
What the hell?
got some reading going on here. You might recognize this, our guest, one of his works. I'm about halfway through that. It's been a fun read so far. I'm about
Hell
halfway
yeah,
through
dude.
this one right here. This is from Mr.
Illuminating the toolsmith.
Yes, that's a good
Illuminating,
one.
yeah.
I also got through this, and I can't remember. Are we gonna be talking about this one at some point?
Not me. 'Cause I
Mine
still
said it arrived in the mail, and I don't have it. So
Go one day, and
They're
then
liars.
also a little foreshadowing going on here with shows coming up in the future,
Ooh.
future guests. So yeah, got a lot of reading going on.
Smoke
Doing a lot of work. A lot of
What
work.
does the fox
Busy.
smoke?
Arnett, always good to be on the seas, as it were.
Hell yeah! I can't tell you guys how when I come onto the show, I look forward to talking to you guys and hanging out every single week.
Oh.
It's like one of the highlights of my week. It's like
He has
Same,
the
brother.
kids,
Aw.
absolutely not. It's the boys. No, I'm kidding.
I can understand why you would feel that way about this show.
Your accent is a lot better than his, though, so it doesn't. I'm not connecting it right away.
I may have put more practice into it than he did.
If only there were more than one.
All right, hopped in the short bus, boys.
Hey,
Oh, who do we got here?
never
Oh,
had
doesn't
to
know
drive
anything
the
about
short
modern
bus.
technology.
He may be
Okay.
the only one who belongs in the short bus, actually, based on.
I used to drive the bus,
How
just
dare
not
you
the
say
short
things
bus.
like this about me.
I am the veteran. All right, let's give us because we got some things to cover with this, and I think we got a little bit of spiciness about to come
Oh,
from
this
what
is going
we've
to be a spicy show. I
we've
can already
had.
tell.
And before we get into Highlander, I kind of want to go on a little rant here because we just had our poll, and it was a very successful poll, except for
Chan.
Very
the
successful.
people who wanted Kroll to win, right? The people that wanted Kroll to win.
All
It's
four
weird.
of them.
Look, as you guys may know, I was in the Marine Corps for some years, and sometimes there was a point where you had to take your lance corporal aside and you had to chew him out a bit. And right now, I want to talk to those Kroll fans that
You had to
voted
do
for
what to 'em?
Kroll. Chew him out a little bit.
Oh,
chew him
okay,
out.
okay.
All right,
Like verbally, right?
listen here. If you're a fan of Kroll and you voted on there, and that's all you did, what are you doing, guys? We're never gonna win like this. All right, you guys need to step it up. I saw people sharing
Partisan pressure.
Dark Crystal. I saw people sharing Highlander. What's going on? What's happening? You guys got to fight for Kroll. I expect more for you guys. So next time I put something up and we wanted to win, you better get in there and vote and get people like freaking pumped for this. Come on,
I made
let's go.
so many videos trying to get people to vote for the Dark Crystal. Justin posted his movie and did nothing and won. Landslide. Not even close. He is the king of this week.
Oh man, it's like every time I
Oh, that's
freaking
gonna go to the head.
It's almost like people love this movie because
It would be a shame if a couple people here didn't love this movie.
That'd be
it is
weird.
going to be a shame. Yeah.
It'd be a weird thing, huh?
all right. You can go into the summary now.
Herman, who
As
are
you
you
do.
saying is Kamala? Kamala?
Battsauce's little rant was
calling
like
me
watching.
Kamala.
It was like watching the left debate the left. It's just like you're never left enough. You're
It
never
weighed at
crawling
least
up.
it weighed at least as much
You're
as
never
15
crawling up.
boxes.
You're never crawling enough.
Look, I have
Moral
standards, okay, and
Crawl standards.
yeah.
I get it.
yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
is Battsauce the Kamala of our
the
group?
Kamala? No.
Shouldn't
Yeah,
it be?
yeah.
I have
Does it have a corporate style?
standards, and standards are whenever you have a measurement of something that
That's a
you have
standard.
to measure
And that's about the economy.
become the standard.
I think the government just prints more money.
Today's
Anyway.
Tuesday. I'm wearing
think I
a
was
black shirt. The Battsauce, he, him. Yeah.
Yeah, more like it that.
Battsauce pronouns yes king. Anyway. Hey,
right,
read out. What's up, brother? All right, Justin, let's get into the movie and stop making fun of Battsauce.
Yeah. Let's
we're
change it up a
talking-
little bit.
I'm the king of the shot, buds.
We're talking about this. I mean, I don't throw around the word masterpiece lightly, but absolute masterpiece right here. Highlander. And I recommend if you do watch this, get yourself the director's cut. Okay, it's worth it for the extra 6 minutes of footage on it. And I'd also recommend you get it at Goodwill because you can't see the price, but it was $1. Worth
Did they
every-
show more wire effects in the extended version?
Is there more verbal,
like
is there more
unhidden
verbal
wire effects?
confrontation?
Is there more
with the
gamer
main
words in that
characters?
version?
Negative
Is that the
here.
gamer version?
Opposite. Yeah, it's got everything that's there. It needed to be there, and the fact that it was cut. Actually, some of that was cut. We'll talk about because some of it was interesting. It was offensive to American audiences at the time.
It should have been.
Wait, what was offensive to American audiences?
Well, one particular scene is in the first fight whenever they're in the car garage underground, and
Garage.
the garage.
Was that an Italian thing or just like you
Hey.
liking this movie thing?
Wait, offensive scene. Hold on. Are we talking the wait, is it the gamer word scene, or is it like when the cop points the gun at his head improperly and like literally cranks it back right there on screen He's like
It's
a
not
blatant criminal, but he's like a normal cop in this movie, and they never resolve that. I'm pretty sure. Or like, which part are you talking about? That was
Ladies, man.
offensive.
Well,
Like,
Let
there's so
the
many.
man talk.
Yeah, thank you.
In the fight in the garage, there's a part where the guy that they're fighting, I can't remember his name. He's like the guy in the suit.
Salamanca is the first one he fights.
Okay, that dude. He does backhand springs like 10 in a row.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
on the European cut, which
Americans were like, we don't like that. That's outlandish and silly and not cool. So please get rid of it. And
Oh.
thank goodness they put it back into the director's cut because it really adds to the fight when you understand how acrobatic this this opponent is, and it makes the victory in that first fight that much more
Question.
impressive. But
Why are we critically looking at this film?
I
before
because
we
it's
get
freaking
into it,
awesome.
Yeah.
We're
I
three
got-
in.
Why is the
Yeah,
Immortal
Highlander.
so old?
we'll talk about it. The summary,
Justin,
Shut up,
Justin,
Kamala.
you know how I like good guys to win? This movie made me want the Kurgan to win over and over again.
Wait. Let's talk about that for a second. If the Kurgan wins, what happens? He becomes mortal and he'll die.
No. He becomes mortal, but then he has the power to hear everybody's thoughts and feel their intentions on Earth. He becomes a mortal.
What a
god on-
terrible,
It
what a
has
terrible
no
thing.
effect on
No,
the end
prize sucks.
result of anything.
No.
Let's be
'cause then he's
honest,
a lot-
the prize sucks.
all right, here's the rundown. Highlander from 1986. Here's the summary, and the summary's not very good, but
Yeah, just like
Scottish-
the. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
An immortal Scottish swordsman must confront the last of his immortal opponents, a murderously brutal barbarian who lusts for the fabled prize, capital P. Directed by Russell Malai, starring Christopher Lambert, which you might know him from Mortal Kombat fame as Raiden. I wrote Shahan
Raiden.
Connery. I don't know who that is. Seahan Connery and Clancy Brown. This movie cost in today dollars $54.5 million, and unfortunately, it pulled a Scott Pilgrim in the box office and only made 34. It's an hour 56 minutes for the director's cut. It's a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's also a 70 on 80 audience score on one of those, 24% on Metacritic, and a 4.7 out of 5 on Amazon. And that is the rundown.
Okay. So
I think someone's
some
pumping
thoughts.
up those numbers.
yeah, some thoughts on Mall Ninja the movie. Why does he have to have a katana? Why doesn't he have a
It's
sword
not a
from the
katana. It's
Highlander?
pre-katana. Okay,
Highlands?
it's a proto-katana.
Yeah, it's folded 200 times.
Because the guy is, the dude gave it to him because he's been alive for so long and he picked it up. From,
I love the Scottish
That
Spaniard.
Scottish Egyptian gave it to him.
Yeah. Who calls himself a Spaniard who married a Japanese woman
there it
that
is.
gave him not a samurai sword.
Wasn't one of the things about being immortal? Don't you not age? So why are all these people immortals aging, Sean Connery?
I think maybe I don't think they age. I think he
that's
just
one-
got hit with
They don't
immortality
Okay.
They should
later
all
in
be
life.
babies. They should all be infants fighting to be at each other.
The whole lore of it. I'm sorry, was I the only one that cringed when they're like, feel the strength with the deer, and then they
Feel
start
the
hoofing
stag.
on the beach like, run with me, run with me.
I thought that was
Get out of my room,
you
man.
know what, Battsauce, I'm gonna let that one go.
Okay.
That is so cringe. It's funny, and I had no. That's far from my. I have no problem with that in the film, especially this film.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, mate?
With my sense of self-preservation.
Yeah, I just look.
I'm McCloud. What's my accent?
So the first
I'm Australian for
It's
adventure,
interesting,
bro.
is what it is. It's interesting.
the first epic fight, I guess we get epic. I use that term loosely. The with Sean Connery versus the main villain, and so I don't know how is it. Isn't the guy supposed to be the most powerful because he kills people? And I don't know what gaining more power
Yes, sir.
means to them because it doesn't seem to really boost anything in stats.
They're they're stronger than normal people, though.
Yeah, like when they hit
They
walls.
slowly got more
Tower, dude.
powerful.
That
They
was
slowly
sick.
got more powerful over time, but at the same point, it was
Yeah.
never something illustrated well. It's not like watching Jet Li's The One, where with every one killed, it's like he absorbs all their power and then becomes more. Though technically he's supposed to, they just didn't have the tech or the vision to really kind of do those superhero spectacles. Remember, 1986, developed in the early 80s, late 70s.
So the best they could do is some effect with them just coming, just
Now, but I have a quick count. I have
The
a counterpoint.
The castle's falling away.
The
Lightning.
Boncher.
Yes.
Only 3 years later, in the Abyss, that movie came out. You can absolutely do a lot with a better director and a better special effects team.
Yeah, that's
Even
why I
back
added the
then.
phrase the vision. They lacked the vision on doing that. There wasn't even the technical mindset. Remember, it wasn't until the
Didn't they
Matrix
also,
we started
like-
getting the wire fu craziness out there.
Didn't they like rush it also? Like it was a very quick film production kind of thing?
Well, I saw the bit of information on IMDb that Connery was only on set for less than 7 days.
Which is insane. He did a really good job considering that time frame. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
he made $1 million for 1 week of work.
Great Spanish man, the best, some say. But,
Definitely not
they,
Scottish or Egyptian or Japanese.
they when you look at such great 80s masterpiece classics, like heavy metal, that they had the technology at the time, because when you just watch heavy metal, you can just
It's
compare it.
animated. What are you
And,
talking about?
You can
can't
see
compare
that
it.
it's all there, Bats. You can see that it's all there. That's my whole
You
point.
can't compare it. Well, we had another better movie, Kroll, up there.
No.
Oh,
Actually true. Actually
Why
not
are we
better.
talking about losers? We're not here to talk about losers.
Yeah, there's no
Oh,
points for second best, baby.
Yeah.
Get with the Top Gun.
MD, you're not gonna.
look, that's
you're
a
not
whole
gonna
different
dunk on
discussion.
MD, you're not gonna dunk on the Dark Crystal, are you? That's a really excellent little.
The Dark
that movie.
Creepo, yeah. I
Stole my
still
vote.
look at that going, boy, I didn't realize they had cameras in Joe Biden's White House that far back in time.
Listen,
Watching
wait,
cameras.
There's another
listen.
Dark Crystal movie.
Let's not go into other movies, to be fair. Let's just talk
Uh-huh.
about the worst movie I've seen this year, probably. Highlander. Like,
Yeah.
the worst thing was, when I saw it on the list, I'm like, oh my god, is this going to win? Because me and the wife, we watched this like 6 months ago. And I remember looking at it, I'm like, oh, this doesn't hold up.
I remembered it
Those that
being
enter
way
the porta
better.
potty should be forced to lick their spoon.
Now,
Dude, I'm sorry. The fight scenes in this are horrific. If this was...
1986?
No, there's plenty of fight scenes in 1986 and before that are leagues better. Leagues. Like, it's not even close.
Sometimes
It's
the fights
embarrassing.
are okay. Sometimes they're
Start naming 'em.
embarrassing to look at.
When are they okay? The entire time they're
When the
horrible.
stunt people are fighting from a distance.
As a 17-year-old watching it, those were the best fights out there at the time, except
They're
for
still
Princess
awesome.
Bride.
you can't even get fights like that anymore.
Yeah, Princess Bride. There you go.
Princess
One.
Bride.
One.
No, we
That
just
came out-
watched Braveheart. Braveheart was leagues better.
It's like
I'm not saying
Braveheart
it
was
came-
5 years later. 7
That's
years
not
later.
that far off.
Yeah.
Still,
Well,
you can't go and do that. No,
You're
sorry.
back in
False-
the-
Oh, come on.
Was anybody
Star Wars, except for Episode 4, the fights were better. Okay, there we go.
That's what I was gonna say.
better
is,
or like more well done? There's a difference here, and we'll talk
Right.
about that in the one
You
topic.
gotta remember, you're
yeah.
building
You weren't
on
forward.
people's bodies of work. There's a reason why Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was so phenomenal.
That movie was incredible, dude.
People didn't know at that time about wire fu. They didn't realize that this was being done in China all the time until a lot of these Chinese movies started coming through. And then, of course, you get Crouching Tiger show up, and people are like they're dancing, they're fighting on the tops of bamboo.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
even
God, this
so,
is unbelievable.
even so, every time there was a wire in this movie used, you saw it. It was clear as day. Like,
and there was
very
very
clear.
few of them
They
because
painted
they-
them neon
Because they-
green or some shit. I don't know.
No, it was black. It was there.
That first opening shot, you guys weren't impressed by that? Whenever the wrestling match is going on, and they somehow have
That
a
was
drone
good.
I
shot
was
in
impressed by that.
1986.
There
was
wasn't a
I would
drone.
assume
That was
I assumed it was a
micro-
helicopter.
I
It
was
just-
drone,
like-
not actually a drone, but the
Yeah,
way
but they
that
did
it
that all
was-
the
It was
time.
done on a cable. Yeah,
I have
that's what they
never
had to
seen
use.
another movie do that sort of shot from that time period.
Okay,
helicopter?
wait. Pause.
No, it
Pause.
was wiring that they had. It looked like a modern.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
So cool.
I'm saying this. People like Joe and I are obviously a little bit more sour on this movie. Joe, what is something good you actually liked about this movie? Unironically, you liked.
The lightning effects were cool, like with whenever one of them died. I really liked that. I wish that was done more. But yeah, I'm pretty negative and like on this movie. Like on every factor.
I smell sour grapes.
Whoa. Pause. You're gonna get the stream taken down. Music. Just whoa. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Were you not a fan of Queen providing some of the soundtrack to that?
That's one of
They're
my
super
positives.
Yeah, they're super striking. And
This movie did not deserve Queen.
Oh,
No.
no.
Oh, yes, it did.
And this is
yes,
not
it
even
did.
Queen. This isn't even close to Queen's
Absolute-
best work. Like this is
Whoa,
like
whoa,
okay,
whoa,
it
no,
is
not even
Flash
close.
Princes of the
Gordon.
Princes
Flash
of the
Gordon
Universe
was
is-
way better.
No,
Yes, that
it
was their
was
first foray
not.
into this. Yeah, I will
Princes of the
admit-
Universe is one of their best tracks they've ever done.
Okay, yeah, I rescind my statement. Yeah.
There we go. See, like maybe not every track, but that track specifically is one of the
Okay.
best.
Let's
Flash Gordon is what led to them being into this film of going, hey, we actually can do this. And then they did on at least 3 different tracks, knock it completely out of the park.
let's talk the story. Purely the story of Highlander. Well, how did people feel about the story of Highlander?
Cool. It was
The
awesome.
premise was really neat.
The premise-
I think with better acting, better action, and a better director, it could have been really excellent.
It could have been a worse movie. I agree. Yeah. It would have lost the
It was a tagline, and that is it. Period. It has a cool tagline. The premise is actually retarded.
No,
Like,
no,
the gi-
disagree.
The gift at the end it makes no sense. If the villain wins, he loses. The gift
Okay.
is a loss. Like, what are we
This is-
talking
I will-
about?
I will fully agree. I will fully go along with you with the fact that the prize actually sucks. There's only one prize in entertainment that I've ever seen worse, and that is the prize given to the Jellicle Cats in the musical Cats.
Oh my
Whereas
god.
the
We're
prize
not
is
talking
dead.
about that. Boncher, we're not talking about
We
that.
don't bring
movie.
up cats here. We do not bring up cats here.
Actually, the musical, if you watch a musical of it back in the day,
Ah!
it's all no, not the Disney shit. No, the performance
doesn't
of it
matter.
is pretty good.
I have nightmares of that because my wife. It's a long story. No. Okay. So, but even listen, I woke up one time at 2 a.m. and it was blaring, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
So wait, cats activates your PTSD from being.
Dude, I mean, like, imagine, like I thought I was hallucinating. Like, it was terrifying,
That's pretty much the effect of the stage show.
and it
You
wasn't
are
on
hallucinating.
when I went to sleep. So just saying. But
You wake up
Yo,
in a
wait.
freaking nightmare.
So the whole thing, like, they all had to fight, and whenever there's an immortal, they have to, like, explain the rules to another immortal. Like,
I know the
if Sean
rules.
Connery never shows up, they never know the rules. For whatever reason, they respect, like,
I
you
do.
fight in sacred, like, ground. Ugh. What's up, Jersey? But the
That's a good rule. Don't knock that.
it's not, yeah, but there's nothing holding them to that. Like,
Well, no, it's because they have to hold
Just the
themselves,
fear
and
of
even the
God.
Kurgan follows that rule. That says something. That's actually interesting.
what? Yeah, but it doesn't really seem to fit his character. Either way, I digress. That's such a non-point. The thing is like, why don't 2 people team up and kill him? If they say, like, we can't let him win out of anyone, like, okay, so maybe we should team up and kill him.
I guess things like that were probably answered in the TV series, which I don't consider existing, but I have to at least tacitly.
Yeah, if it has
accept
to
the
be explained in
existence.
some other material, it's
Otherwise,
available.
Bambo might leave me in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, you got me and Evely here to kind of hold your hand through this very simple movie, Battsauce. But I looked into the world building a little bit. So
Oh, wait, you had to look at something else to figure out the lore?
I see what you did there.
It's not in the movie. It's not
Dark
explained in the
Souls
movie.
is like that.
As we say, a failure of writing. Oh, okay, continue. What? Explain to me the lore that's not explained in the movie. I'll listen.
Well, did you
wait
hear
for
when
this to
they
get
were
thrown back in
explaining
his
the
face.
rules? There can be only one.
Yeah. So they can team up and kill one that they say, because apparently all they know is that the power is going to be great, and they're like, they can't let him have it. I'm like, okay, so
No,
team
there
up.
can
Oh
and
be
yeah,
kill
only
him.
wait.
one,
They
like
don't.
one
They don't
versus
actually
one.
know what the
Yeah,
prize
there
is,
can
do
only
they?
be
One
No.
versus one. Just
Sean Connery, I think,
one
does.
versus one. Yeah,
right there.
one
They say
versus
it all
one.
the
You
time.
can't.
No,
interview.
where does it say 1v1? It never says
There can
that.
be only one. How many opponents? Oh, there can
No,
be
that means
Only
one winner. One
That
winner.
too.
Yeah.
It means various things. You just have
The
to.
fan does not get the right to tell what the writer is doing.
Who set the rules? Who set the
writer?
rules?
They've always
writer,
been that way. Since the beginning
plot,
of time, bad.
That's how writing works.
Justin, you're doing that thing where
Who
you
said that?
justify
Yeah.
justify the bad writing. That's what
Like-
that's what Andy and I do. Not you.
Let's say it's just God and it's like how they were created. Then,
Justin, you hated Rocky. This isn't what.
I didn't hate it. I thought
Yo, he hates Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
I thought it was boring. I made it a half hour and it got.
Oh,
was like
Battsauce, don't make that sound again. It looks like you belong on the short post.
Now I do have a list.
I was on the short bus. That's the whole thing.
I have
Let
a list
Justin-
of things about this movie, and I'm curious
Okay.
what you're going to say is not cool.
Sanctuary on holy ground. Am I right? Am I
I
right,
like it.
Justin? Sanctuary on holy ground, right? It's like
yeah, it follows the old
Yes,
Catholic
I'm just going to
tradition,
say yes. I don't
Kurgan-
recall it.
which
The
makes it
Kurgan
an
didn't-
interesting
the
possibility.
Kurgan didn't fight him in the church. All he did was
Yep,
talk shit.
he kept
All
to
he
his
did
own
was-
rule.
Yeah, thank God. He just graped a bunch of women. What a great guy,
he
honorable.
admitted to it. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
That whole scene didn't. There was two scenes
His,
in the movie.
his
that really bothered
his
me. That was
acting,
one
his
of the
size, his outfit, his presence.
Yes,
the Kurgan was one of the highlights of this film.
Kurgan was
Absolutely, one of the. One
I'll
of the
say
best
that. Enjoyable to
action
watch.
things out there.
All right, now in the fight,
Let's hear it for Mr. Krabs.
I've never seen fights in movies with this much particle effects going on. Maybe in like a John Woo, what do they call it, bullet ballet. Sometimes you get almost at that level. Sparks everywhere in the garage. There's sparks, and then they hit the sprinklers. Water's going everywhere. There's lightning. There's fire. There's wind. There's constant like natural chaos happening in the environment while they're fighting. Glass is exploding. Signs are falling. That stuff was awesome.
Oh yeah, the whole.
Oh, they got
Silvertip
signs falling
sign
in
going
Madam
down.
Web too.
With better fight
who did
choreography
they
and
say-
better filmmaking, I think it would have been much cooler.
Yeah.
I do like that, Justin. I've seen that done well in movies that also had better.
I've
The
never seen a better-
choreography
I want a
is
reference
so
to it.
bad.
Calling you out. I want a reference to a movie from the 80s.
No,
that
it was
does
very much on
that
par for the
better.
period.
It's awesome. So good.
I
No.
disagree. I just disagree.
Andy's
Okay,
just
other
watching
than-
that.
and even if it's on par for the time period, that's not an excuse.
It was
You're not
great.
using
Like,
you're not
the
using
thing
a fair
is
form of judgment.
it's-
Then
No, I mean, I'm sorry. There's nothing stopping them from, like, technology wise, from choreographing a good fight. Like, I shouldn't be able to reproduce this entire movie with a budget of $1,000 and like two brothers, like, and probably pull off a better movie.
you're not being you're being a disingenuous debater on this one. You're
A little bit.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I am too. In fairness, I am.
I'm being totally disingenuous. don't
But
get
I'm
me wrong.
spitting facts.
Me too.
No,
Me too.
no.
Wait, what are the scenes that disturbed you, Justin?
Okay, there's two scenes that bothered me. One is Ramirez tells Connor, you can't be with that girl. It doesn't end well. I've had 3 wives. Just like it's not good. And he's
I've
like,
done
"Oh."
it. Trust me, you don't want that.
He's like, okay, you're right. And then
the point.
Ramirez is back in that tower with her, and he's just, where's he at? And then because he's no around, I'm like, why didn't Ramirez like also like leave her and just or tell her to go away? So they end up in there, and then the Kurgan gets her, and like horrible things happen to her. I'm like, what the heck? And the whole time the fight's happening, she doesn't run. She just waits.
Okay.
That whole sequence
Now I
was
get it.
bizarre to me.
Wait,
Cut it. Get her
one of the
out.
scenes that bothered me the most, the sex scene, and how weird that was.
No, that's
That's the 80s.
That him sucking on the nipple is just giving me nightmares.
No.
Based.
Well, Joe, being a
Stop.
gay man, that may give you nightmares, but most heterosexual guys, we get it, right?
It was so weird, and especially from this goofball, this guy who takes steroids and doesn't work out. That's probably why all their skulls are ginormous. Probably from all the steroids they're pumping in themselves, making their skulls grow into like unnaturally. You know, it's crazy.
Boobs.
I got-
2 things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
okay. How about the gorgeous setting, the natural landscapes of the Highlands?
I
That's
like
plus.
some.
Yeah,
no,
that's plus. Yeah.
Justin, I like some of them and not others. Sometimes sometimes they had one really nice location. They showed it for like 4 seconds and never showed it again.
I know, you got to go back and watch it again.
4 seconds of it, dude.
Yeah.
Put it in half speed.
So here, look at Hunter's comment here. I think this is important, right? The guy likes Kroll is now complaining about fight choreography, and true, the fight choreography is not great in Kroll either. The thing is, the movie doesn't rely on it. This movie relies on the fight choreography to be entertaining.
Hold up. Who
Well,
did it
yeah,
better
yeah.
though? Because the language, the passive language I picked up on with the choreography was that and I'll just quote their language with the cinema language. Hey, we saw that Star Wars is doing this huge, crazy sword fight scene, so we want to do it better. Did they do it? Compare the Kurgan.
No,
it's
they
really
did not.
not. No.
Yes,
Darth
they
Vader
did.
And the thing, and again,
I would
Star
assume
Wars
better than
doesn't
Star
rely
Wars.
on fight choreography. It doesn't. Like the rest of the
relies on
movies.
special effects.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, and the story's good.
No, that is mostly true. It's good because of the editing and the directing by people other than George Lucas.
But it's still good.
It's good. Yeah, but that's the
Yeah,
point. It's good.
but
Highlander
This
does
one-
not have either of those things.
Yeah.
But that's
Yes,
what
it
makes
does. You just don't like
No,
it.
Justin. Being bad does not make it good. Damn it.
Like the amount of times they're like, ching, ching,
Yes.
ching.
And there's
Like
that one
it's
point.
nobody's trying to go aim for a
Start
kill
naming
shot,
more
you know?
movies.
It's
Start
great.
naming
There's
more
Oh,
everywhere.
disagree. Right off the
Start
bat, the
making
Kurgan stabs him right in the fucking gut.
Hold
dude.
on,
Lord,
we have Jared of
Fuck
Missouri
around.
breaks down below. I think he makes a good point. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst either. There were much worse films. in
Exactly.
regards.
But
It
I
doesn't-
can't name any
and
better. except
MD, it doesn't make it good though.
Oh, but
Doesn't
it,
make
it
it bad
does
either.
because you're not going to get fights like this.
Justin,
anymore.
no more of this. It's bad, and that makes it good. I'm
Yeah.
not buying
Yeah.
this low.
Yeah.
True.
No.
Absolutely true. The fight
I'm buying
scene,
it.
the first time
I'm
he's
buying it,
fighting the
Justin.
Kurgan, so
AC,
McLeod's
son
fighting
of
the
a bitch.
Kurgan, right? And they're like punching and stuff, and then he hits his head on that pipe twice, and it's like too soft, but the sound effect is super loud. Oh, dude, I was having
Okay.
such a good time.
Oh,
So
watching
wait,
it.
it might have
really
listen. It might have
Kahuna
worked
brother.
for the time period,
No,
but we're
it's
not in
good.
that time period anymore.
It was great.
Then
And
you
that's-
gotta
that's
judge
the
it by
problem.
time period it's
Kahuna
in.
brother.
About it, man.
You know,
And then scenes
You
where
can't
he's
judge
Hey,
it.
we're saying it doesn't hold up. It does.
It does. It's so
It
good.
does.
It's so good.
Absolutely, for what it is.
Look at the
Have you
sword
ever-
fighting in Princess Bride. It's excellent. Every
Yeah,
single
it-
scene.
Why does that still hold
Oh
up?
yeah, we got
Who cares?
two people.
I've seen a million
The
well-done
two
fights.
instructors
Give
that
it a
worked on that were some of the best fight choreographers that ever lived. They
Why do
worked
kung
out
fu
with
movies
Errol
still hold
Flynn.
up? Why
Are
do
we going to
kung fu-
talk about
Most
the
films.
accent? Are we going to
Most
talk about the
films.
accent at any time?
Oh dear God, because that doesn't deserve to be looked at in any way because it's all cringe.
Kahuna, brother, you know, there's nothing like decapitating a man with your ancestral
It
katana.
sounds like Tommy Wiseau, but more retarded.
I'm
And then-
sorry. I'm sorry.
and
The
and then
drunken.
you're so powerful.
like
You're
that
so
thing.
powerful that all the muscle cars in the garage just light up and just start driving around behind
There
you
is
because
cool.
you're
There
that
are cool
fucking
things
manly.
in the movie, but
that
Batman
fucking
versus
masculine.
Superman has cool things. It is not a good film.
The
It's the
Drunken
same
Master
thing.
came
wasn't
out
fun.
in 1978.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
One
a
of
benefit
the
to
best debatably the best kung fu movie of all time. The fights hold up.
You had the guy.
Oh,
that
Jared, I didn't
choreographed
know that.
The
That's pretty
Matrix that put that together. And it was a fundraiser for the Hong Kong Stuntmen's
Hong
Stuntmen's
Kong?
Association.
So they had a good person do a good job. Highlander, they
Yeah,
had a
one
bad
of the
person
most-
do a bad
He
He was
job.
a man from Hong Kong
That's
with
like
small
getting
dong.
That's like getting Mozart to write your dinky little student film, score. I mean, that's how good Wu Ying Ping is it or Wu Ping? I can never remember which his name is. But the guy that did
I come to the club, I be whooping your
That guy's a
ass.
virtuoso for fights.
It doesn't
And
matter the record of the person making the product. It matters if the product is good or bad.
Great.
Okay.
Battsauce, that's a
Entire
really good
tone.
point. I fully
You're using
wholeheartedly.
disingenuous measures.
Tone of
That's not wait. How's that disingenuous?
Boncher, he is, but not. That was a good point.
That, yeah,
Acknowledge it.
I'm
Acknowledge it.
I'm being like extra, but I'm making I'm making valid points.
Justin has such calm energy. Just like he's like the train that thinks it can, but it can't.
AC's like,
It's
yeah,
trying so
no.
hard.
Yeah.
This movie
So
tone the entire time, is it serious or is it fun? It's fun, and they lean into that the entire movie, and it's fun the entire time because of that.
Except that the
Scenes
main
like whenever
guy
he's
is always
underwater,
serious.
and he's laughing underwater, and it's so like ridiculous. Like we gotta keep that in. Don't add that. That's hilarious. And then he's on shore, right? And Ramirez is like, "Oh, you're finally." He's like, "Yeah." And then the fish fall out of his skirt, and he looks down like, "Where'd those come from?" And like
There's-
the scene
It's
when he's
camp.
going to fight that guy, there's that can on the ground, and he steps on it to show like how tough or cool he is. Like it's camp. It's very reminiscent. To me of
so
a movie
a movie's bad
Army of Darkness.
is camp and funny because it's bad. So let's say it's a good movie then. Come on.
Justin,
We're not
what-
saying you can't have fun with it. We can't say you can't
man.
enjoy the movie.
You
We're saying
can
that it's
have
bad.
camp. But
It's
camp
not bad.
does not like.
It's
I'm
awesome.
saying it's bad not because of the camp. The camp is not the problem.
I would rather watch a movie that's a little bit campy and cheesy and has fun, and you leave with a smile on your face, than like some super serious, gritty, dark.
I agree, Justin, but this film tried to be both unsuccessffully.
No, it was successfully fun.
Spider-Man is an example. That movie is dark and campy, and it does both right. That's a good example.
Which
Spider-Man
film?
The original one.
Went from
The Sam
2000 for
Raimi-
20 years later?
Yeah, Sam Raimi.
Now,
I
It's
would say
dark
that was a
and
very
it's campy.
mid-movie.
It's both. It's a very good movie.
Master
How?
Christian, right?
Boncher, how? Get out! How dare you?
Make me.
The opening
I'm
scene
pretty
is-
strong. I can probably.
You bet your sweet bippy I did.
Oh no, he's gone. What happened?
Oh,
Oh no. There.
The opening scene.
I'm like the rash you can't get rid of.
Bro.
What sport is taking place?
What?
Yeah, what
In
sport
the
is
opening
taking
of this
place?
movie, what sport is taking place? That gives you a clue visually. You
Yep.
see what sport that is. Is it a real sport? Is it totally real and serious? Or is it
One-on-one.
wrestling? It's wrestling.
God,
One-on-one.
Justin, it was making him have flashbacks to a war in the
thanks-
1500s.
Thank you for bringing up wrestling. Thank you for bringing up wrestling. Much better story writing than Highlander.
No.
It's just campy though. That's
Triple H had better writing.
Oh,
I would argue that-
we're bitter because we didn't
choreographed,
choose
good
Crawl.
time. You know it's not real, but that's okay. We're still having fun. Is that guy really getting killed on a table? No.
Based.
Yeah.
Butter the edge. It's okay, Hedge. It's okay. You can be a little bit buttered. It's fine.
A lot of the passive dialogue with side characters was hilarious. Some of the one-liners that like the cop girl says, or some of the other guys, were
The
great.
gamer word?
What did they say? I don't remember.
Oh man, the
gamer
first
word?
time the cop is talking about the decapitated guy, he's like, "Oh look, this one came unassembled."
Yeah, that was it was a funny line. It was a funny
Girl
line.
cop tells the other boy cops, he's like, "I always knew you guys were bottle fed." Lines like that.
Oh yeah. That was a cool. Yeah.
I
Oh, great.
love. I'll tell you this. Another good.
I got
Okay,
another
so
one.
Look,
some of the good little bits that are in there. So, okay, first off, we all understand the accents were terrible because let's face it, a Frenchman playing a Scotsman and a Scotsman playing an Egyptian,
Everything.
Spaniard, Japanese. Yeah, okay, that's all bad. It does have plot holes you can drive a truck through at times.
Hold on, animation overload. The Thailander.
Oh, not bad. But at the same time, it still has a lot of these wonderful little moments. It had excellent, for its day, excellent fight scenes. If it was of the era, it was some of the better fight scenes that you could find out there. Is it great compared to what we've got now? No, absolutely not. Nothing.
Boncher, I have one problem with that.
Okay, just one.
I have one, but it comes in the form of multiple.
Oh yeah, so we get the 20-part question. Okay,
There are good older fantasy films that are campy and weird
Krull.
and odd. Krull, obviously Conan, but I'm not even going to go that. I'm not even going to go that fundamental. Willow is a better film. Dark Crystal is a better. I would even put Labyrinth above this film, and that's a really silly film.
That'll start a fight in my house.
Look, the big thing is Highlander specifically relies on the fight scenes to be good, and the plot, right? And both of those are its weak points. To say that it just has some fun scenes that are like, a little campy, a little funny, just sprinkled here and there, like that does not make the movie good by any metric.
It does. Have you seen Army of Darkness? Did you enjoy it?
Nope.
Yeah, Army of Dark, yes, of course, because it's a comedy.
fantastic fun.
Yeah,
Never
this
saw it.
movie is like that same.
That was the
vibe. It's not
intention it was
that
going
vibe.
for.
It opens with wrestling. It's supposed to be like fake and silly and campy.
There can
It's
be
wrestling.
only one Bats. Sorry.
The way you're talking about this movie right now.
This
Wait. You can't bring that movie is so much better. It's so many leagues better.
Man, you're talking about the guy who's the king of camp. Of course, it's going to be better, but that doesn't make this bad. It's not on that level, but
It also doesn't make it
no,
good, Justin.
We're talking about some fun scenes sprinkled in there, whereas in Army of Darkness is just hit after hit after hit.
No, Army of Darkness has some pretty big holes in it too.
Good scene.
I'm not talking about the plot. I'm talking about fun scenes. Every scene is fun. Like
No,
There was a lot of emphasis
I
put
I
on.
disagree with.
There was a lot of emphasis in this movie put on the romance, and none of the romance was good.
Yeah, okay, that I will
romance
agree
is
with. The
terrible.
romance was very cringy.
It's like, tell me one thing about the Scottish girl he was married to when he was before she died of old age. They fucked in a field once.
Okay, so
And she's really good at keeping secrets. There you go.
Yeah, right.
A lot of stuff that was supposed to have happened that basically you're supposed to understand that this relationship went for her entire life, and that was supposed to be what was understood, and that's why the whole "you must leave her brother" thing came up. That's why you got the whole friggin' song "Who Wants to Live Forever," because he is an immortal having to lose.
That song is the best song in there. Yeah.
That is
It is
the
not
best
the best
out of
song.
the movie.
Princess
Well, Princess of the Universe, I personally think, the opening theme is excellent. I still love the what is it, the Kurgan's theme. That was
really good.
excellent as well. I think that the Kurgan got one.
Hold on. Bring it back up. Herman's comment. How dare you?
He's not
Forget
wrong.
it. How? Boncher, I swear to God, is this like an Alzheimer's thing you guys are
We need
So-
to get that clip.
What's
We need to
happening?
get that clip. How dare you?
We're not
So-
millennials that don't
dare
understand how to follow film.
Bringing it back to the story, Boncher, you
We're
mentioned
not
that there's
done.
plot holes you could drive a truck through, right?
Yeah,
So
there are.
is that not an admittance that the story is bad?
A movie can still be
it doesn't
enjoyable
matter.
with big plot
All
holes.
I'm gonna say to
I
that
just
is-
don't. I don't think this
Massive
film does
plot
a good
holes?
enough job. Yes,
Doesn't
massive
matter.
plot holes
What
is
plot
not
holes?
always a bad
What
thing
plot
in a
holes?
movie.
Yes.
But even so,
Indiana
every,
Jones and the Raiders of the
plot
Lost
holes.
Ark proves that plot holes is not necessarily fatal to a film.
Yes.
like what plot hole from that?
The
Some
plot
big
hole
ones.
that you don't need Indiana Jones to exist in that entire film for the success, the completion of that film.
That's just not a plot. I mean, that's not necessarily a plot hole. That's just
Yeah,
saying that
it is.
It's a bit of a
No,
it's definitely a
it-
story mistake.
it's a story. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a plot hole because a plot hole would say that it doesn't make sense what had happened. If you were to if that was something that actually happened, it could still be told that way. Like the story doesn't break just because of that. fact.
Do think about that movie though. It's
it
kind of
doesn't
a
break.
it's kind of a weird.
No, I'm just
That's a weird film a little bit. It's like at the end he gets Deus Ex Machina and nobody cares because it's such a good movie.
Okay, that's a
Highlander is
plot hole.
not Raiders of the Lost Ark. Once again,
I wouldn't say it is, except for the fact that plot holes don't make a movie always bad.
so
Oh,
Herman,
well,
tell us
here-
about the
here-
accidents that caused you
But
to
it
forget
does
Willow.
not help it.
Well, here's a problem, right? Is when you don't tell the audience what the prize of the gift is,
I had a problem
like
with
that. That's a problem, right? That you don't have an attachment of or an understanding of what the character's purpose is.
No.
So that's a problem, and the fact that once you find out what the gift was, it wasn't something cool or something like that.
Yeah,
It's just he becomes an immortal and he can hear everyone, which is sounds god awful.
My seed is fertile now. Yeah,
I will say-
I did not hit her.
If you think,
I did not.
So let's take this a little bit of a step removed philosophically. If you think about it, the ability to be both mortal and have children to someone who had been sterile and immortal, watching all his loved ones die, not having the ability to leave any sort of legacy in the form of children, or see his sort of a genetic heritage exist, that is a prize.
That would be so much. Yeah, but that would be even better story writing if he could have children and then had to watch his children die because they're normal people,
That'd be crazy.
It's
which
an
have been done
alternate- it's
in
an
much
alternate
better
path,
immortal stories.
Well,
but the thing is,
and then Kurgan would be coming at him with like a horde of bastards, dude. It'd be.
They would bring him.
I
in
wanna
with
see that
Ewoks and
movie.
That'd be
I want to
epic.
see Ewok-sized children with leather and little baseball bats coming into the city. That's what I want to see.
but no,
dude,
I
Just
mean,
a bunch
the
of
thing
ugly
is,
little Kurgans.
the
Kurgan
immortal
would be
story's been
preparing
done
for like
done.
60 years, just getting an army of bastards together, training them. They're
He's
all
like,
in leather
"Oh,
jackets,
you don't
listening
know what
to
I've
heavy
sacrificed
metal."
to
Enough
be
about
here.
Highlander 5. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, also being
It
sterile
doesn't
is
there's no lines in my skin down there anymore.
Oh, and by the way, the implication here is that this is the equivalent of 72 virgins in Islam, essentially. This is the Highlander. No, listen. This is the Highlander version. This is the
AC,
Highlander version
what did you
of it.
smoke?
Nothing.
No, seriously.
That's the problem. So here's the thing. It's the Highlander version of that.
Take care of that now.
Because check this out.
Let go. Let him cook. Let him cook.
You become mortal, and you know everybody's like ambitions and thoughts and feelings on Earth at the same time. So isn't the implication, since you're mortal and you can now sire children, the third thing is you feel everybody on Earth? Isn't the implication like pick any woman on Earth out that you want, or in Kurgan's case, enslave them all? Right? That would be the implication. So like, yeah, that's he's gonna find. That's the prize, is the perfect woman. I guess.
We need the meme, guys. Islam.
Is the angle here that mortality allows them to be immortal through his lineage? Is that what we're getting at?
That's technically what it was supposed to be about. At least us Xers out there can understand that.
If it was well done, it could be a really compelling story there with emotional beats.
Yeah.
Okay, first
It's
off,
just okay. What about the story besides campness being sprinkled in? What about the story's good?
No, well, not even that. What about
decapitated
is there
each other,
anything
like,
you like
oh,
about
this
the
is
main
cool.
character? Anything at all? Name something.
He's funny to listen to talk about things.
what?
Hey, he's
a bad actor. He's a bad actor. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sacrificing.
Clear as I can. My metric for any movie, I don't care how like shiny and produced it is and all that. Am I having fun? That's all that matters. Everything else,
Yes.
I don't care. I don't care if you wrote me the best story in the world. If it's everybody's delivering lines like this, and I'm bored. I don't care. If it's fun, that's good to me. There's nothing better than fun, and I had a blast with this. So that's maybe just a me thing that I need to get out there so people understand how I go into movies and all that.
Rocky is below Highlander for Justin. I'm just tossing that out.
Oh yeah, way below there. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
wanting to see a fun movie.
I'll admit, I've never seen Rocky more than a few scenes.
Dude, it's a weird
BONCHER!
Weird movie. He's a
Listen.
Your age, your life experience.
That's what I'm surprised at too.
I've
I've watched all of Rocky 4, but I've never seen Rocky 1, 2, or 3.
Dude,
Well, Rocky 4 is the best one.
Well,
But
back to Highlander. I was gonna say,
love
Justin,
freaking
the
Kahuna.
problem with your metric is that that's just basically saying that's your preference of movie to watch. That is in no way sense could be a metric to determine what's good, is what's fun.
Ahmed the High Bomber.
Like that's it can maybe be put as an attribute to something, right? Like I think with Lethal Weapon, we said we had a lot of fun with that movie, and that did help bump it to a float. If that's all you could say is that I have fun watching this movie, but everything else about it is terrible.
Bill Armstrong.
You can't say that that's going to float.
I didn't say it was terrible. I don't think it's terrible. You guys think it's terrible. I don't. I thought it was a ton of fun.
Well, you have to argue those points of what's good about it. Then
Justin, I will say it is a
guys.
bad movie with some good things in it.
I don't think
That's
it's a
my
bad
metric.
movie.
Some movies are good movies with bad things in it, but the metric it slides too far on one side of the scale.
yeah.
Sorry.
I thought it was a good movie because it was fun.
But that's not a way to determine if a movie's good.
Guess who else said it was
Battsauce,
fun?
it's his
all
own
that matters.
opinion. He's allowed to have that opinion, even if it's very, very
People that
drastically,
enjoyed the movie, I think,
fundamentally,
I gotta
bombastically wrong.
I
If
got
I
to see
thought
wife
something
over
was-
here that said it was fun too. So just
Yeah,
saying.
if something's a blast, I'm sitting down and go, what was it about it that made it so much fun? It's just like a feeling whenever you're watching it, and you just like that essence of the spirit of the thing, just kind of, you get absorbed. You don't have to sit back and go, what was it about that? Oh, that one scene had too many sparks, not enough sparks compared to other movies. That punch, it was too easy, it was too clear. It was
Wow,
too
Castle-
yeah.
Making a
the castle's
Justin,
falling away.
Raw man.
Justin,
sick.
the problem is you're
That
making a
sounds sick.
straw man of our arguments. We're not arguing, the effects weren't quite optimized. No. I'm saying that fundamentally there are some really big problems with this film, and that it doesn't have enough pizzazz, fun, or enough of anything else to draw me in
Queens
after
in it,
that.
man.
So Boncher's made valid points, but when we brought valid points
But-
about the story details that we think are wrong, and that we even got you guys to agree on some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying
The
it's
argument has been there's fun in here.
Okay, so number one, it's intellectually interesting. You have this whole idea of the immortals living among men and almost a savior antichrist sort of allegory, Christ antichrist allegory going on. Two,
But-
you have
Let me go
Yeah.
point by point. So to your first point,
it's
I think that's-
intellectually interesting.
half. I say it's that could be interesting. I think it's what's that called? The the plot is half interesting, right? It's like, yes, immortals fighting to the death. That's good. But what's the other half of that? Like, oh, we kind of forgot. Like, we don't even really know what the gift is. Oh, actually, the gift is shitty. I think it's
BONCHER brings up a good point. Those are interesting ideas that this film fails to explore in a meaningful way.
Ooh, yes. Sorry, point number two.
For the most part.
Well, you got to remember that the focus wasn't necessarily on to this. This movie was made to be an action entertainment extravaganza. For its era, it was a special effect blockbuster, but it was still founded on some intellectual ideas that made people go, okay, there's a little bit more under it. It's like the same way The Matrix is founded on a whole bunch of philosophical questions, but it has kick-ass fight scenes, gun fu, basically the origins of gun fu, and a lot of awesome special effects to layer on top of it to bolster it. Now, mind you, The Matrix is a much more sound film than what you got in 1986 with The Highlander, but at the same time, they are similar in that kind of a balance. There is a solid sort of underpinning to it, but it's hurt because its execution is hit and miss.
Yeah, but like with The Matrix, all of its themes and ideas that it explores are layered into the imagery, the ways the characters look, act, and talk. Every part of the film includes the theme in some form or fashion. This film, like Highlander, doesn't really do that.
14 years of time, 14 years of cinema sophistication was tacked on to The Matrix in that comparison. And
I know comparing the two is not fair, but my point is there are other films even from this time that do that better. They can explore ideas like that better while still being a good film.
I've seen the immortality and also the immortality type of story done a lot better in a lot of other different pieces. And then I've also seen the fight to one tournament style essentially, which is kind of what this is.
The modern term is Duel of Fates, right? Since
sure. No, the modern term is Battle Royale. That's what that is.
Oh, okay.
Battle Royale.
Oh, there you go.
There's no parameters set up on how they're supposed to fight or anything like that. I don't understand why they don't use any guns. I mean, you would think if somebody's
must decapitate
not dying from stabs, they would decapitate their head immediately. They'd be like, "Yo, this guy."
You missed all the passive storytelling. Okay. They're fighting one-on-one. Why do you think that's a
what did a lot? What did a lot say?
I do wish they had more stories and scenes reminiscing about the past. That would have been.
Yeah, but usually you have to use skilled writing in order to set it up so they actually do end up one-on-one, not just I guess we're gonna do one-on-one because we have to.
High bar.
It's not a high bar. That's a very legitimate low bar.
You're demanding a perfect hero's journey on this, and it definitely is.
I mean, I'm demanding a hero's journey on this.
And this never was. This never was really a hero's journey.
I'm not really demanding. I'm demanding decent story writing.
BONCHER, he's demanding a journey of any kind.
Yeah, thank you.
No, he got
one.
He just doesn't like the one he got. That's all there is to it.
We need to fill this.
Something else.
We need to fill this StreamYard account up with all kinds of memes like "Stop it, you're killing him" from The Simpsons.
We should.
You have the power.
I have a whole bunch. Do we not have them on here?
You guys got to send to me. I can upload them, or AC can upload them.
We will. We'll fill it up. But anyway.
But Joe, we can also make it so I'm the one who signs in some weeks, so I can use them all and make you all,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can. Yeah, we got to set that up. But either way,
okay.
I don't feel like there's really any convincing you guys. I feel like you're just throwing our really valid points and just dismissing them with
some of our points are a little bullshit, but
just
not all of them.
But by dismissing them by just saying nah, just no. Or
interest.
Okay, if you have...
No, I've been listening and been receptive to some of the points.
And notice we have too.
Yeah.
But
you guys tend to pivot from the points that we make by saying something else about the film.
I contest that if you had all the things you want in this, the movie would lose the thing that makes it what it is, and it gives it that charm and
Absolutely.
If it was,
Wait,
Justin, you're right. If this was a good,
Based.
Justin's right. If this was a good film, he wouldn't like it.
I would have had a hard time doing it.
Okay, thanks for undermining all my credibility there, Justin.
I love you, buddy. I love you.
Like, did you see that short I made with Kroll and like the fun little like tidbit in there? Like,
Did you
just
guys see
watch-
this? Did
watch
you see the short
trailer.
I made where I made his short better? Yeah.
Okay.
Like, just watch the trailer to Kroll, and you'll see fun and campiness that you're saying, and then the story is just so much better in that movie. So it's like,
Why have I heard of
I can tell you another thing that why you're not making any headway with me, and that is you're fighting against something you have no weapon to deal with, and that's nostalgia. I watched it when I was 17. Okay,
that's cheap, dude.
Culture.
That's a cheap point, man.
It's
If you're saying it's because
point.
it's nostalgic, like
No,
that's
he's not.
no,
Joe,
for
Joe,
me-
he's not saying it's good.
Oh,
He's saying
okay, I
that you'll
got
never
you.
I'm
win
saying
with
for
him.
me, it is you're fighting against nostalgia. I saw this when all these concepts that you're sort of going, oh, that's so bougie and mid and whatever current slang is today for it sucks.
Nice readout. Nice.
That is not how you felt in 1986, 1987, 1988 when this thing was actually starting to take off on VHS. And that's the whole point. In that era, there was nothing else. So I'm at least coming to it from such.
That's just
a-
that's an incorrect statement. That's an
This film
incorrect.
became more popular later after its release.
Yes,
not
it
during
did.
its
It did not get popular really until the 1990s, and then you had this whole. The only way you could get the European cut with the added scenes. By the way, I think one of the funniest and best fight scenes in the entire film is the duel on the Boston Common. You talk about using swords and getting stabbed. That's a classic example of making fun of its own rules. Because he goes out there and he gets into a duel with another nobleman and he gets stabbed like 30 times. And the
That was a
guy
good scene.
can stand
I enjoyed
up
that scene.
laughing.
Yeah.
It's, okay, so you
that's
have
a
seen
great.
that.
That's a great scene.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah,
it's
that
not
was a good
perfect.
scene.
It's not perfect.
That
but,
was like one of my.
It for as many rules as it broke, it's not perfect. It was
Right.
like on track just as much with a lot of things. Like look at the I mean, I think they laid it on a little thick with like they wanted us to hate the Kurgan. We should hate
Achievement
him.
He
unlocked.
was the the best character by a
But-
pretty long way.
In many ways,
But,
yeah.
like,
Well,
his-
Boncher, I
his
forgot
wound-
about that scene until you mentioned it. I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that scene is probably my favorite in the whole movie. I like it even better than the whole World War II, where you find out that's where he met his secretary as saving her as a young girl, and he just
Well-
he has a nice one-liner on that German SS trooper there. And whatever you say, Jack, you're the master race. That was a great scene.
This is one of the few movies where especially in the 80s where they like cared about like wounds that the characters have taken. Like the guy got his throat cut and it was like scarred for the rest of the movie. In fact, like stapled shut, because guess what? That's some more stuff with the passive world building.
What was
Yeah.
what was the name of the actor who played the Kurgan again?
That doesn't fix the
Clancy
movie.
Brown.
I know.
That's
AKA
just,
Mr.
I have
Krabs.
so much trouble remembering his name, but
I did too for the longest time.
he did
So-
he did such a good job playing this maniacal, truly vile
Yeah.
character. But he all like you enjoyed watching him on screen because he was always doing something to catch your attention. Like he's like, "I'm sorry, preacher, for I'm a sinner." Then like licks his goddamn hand.
Yeah, well, and so in the beginning scene when he's fighting Sean Connery's character, and he's supposed to be more
That's
powerful.
a good scene.
That was
I
based.
I
love that scene.
disagree.
It was better than later, but yeah.
Like the fighting wise, the choreography better than probably throughout the movie. I'll agree on that, but the choreography overall is just absolute trash.
Until the final fight, that's the second best fight in the scene in the movie.
Whatever. But the thing is, it's like from a story perspective, he's like
Whatever.
losing against Sean Connery bad. So I don't know what the power means. And then he has Sean Connery could have jumped down and chopped the guy's head off. He had a lot of time. I don't know why he was hesitating to that. It's
You're
just
flying
it was-
2020 hindsight.
No, what? No, that's not 2020 hindsight. That's
Yes,
like I'm
it is.
watching the movie with my eyeballs, and I'm like, jump down and chop his head off. What's going on here?
Okay, first off, you're talking about the part where he gets hit by lightning and falls and is buried under rubble.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Okay, what jumping down? What cutting off the head? The guy's buried under rubble.
Yep.
No, but he was right there. Sean, he wasn't completely
Okay.
buried. His head was hanging out.
It wasn't sure. what
Perfect.
was-
just
and
like
Ramirez
staring
was
at him, like
after
chop
he
me right here.
hesitated. Okay,
Okay.
so you're applying calm, rational sense to a situation that if you were in real life, you would have your adrenaline flowing. Your
Oh
mind
yeah,
would be
some
all
guy
screwed
that's
up
been
with it.
alive
Okay.
for like 1,000
Yes.
years,
No,
2,000
but-
years,
okay, where
hasn't
does
learned
it say-
combat like fog of
Where in
war.
the world buildings does it show that they have a preternatural calmness that comes over battle that allows perfect rational understanding of the
Guys,
situation?
we're never
Technically-
guys. We've debated long enough.
No, we haven't.
It's time for the vote.
But they've wait,
No,
one
no.
last thing. They've established he's been fighting for years. He's combat efficient. He should be thinking pretty decently rationally.
You guys
He-
don't listen to me. You're so mean.
Peak physique.
Okay, let me
right?
ask you. You're a
gonna go
Marine.
take
You've
my
done your
nice wax
combat
doodle for a
training.
chance and
Have you
Yeah.
always kept your head in a firefight, where even simulated?
Yes.
Have you
It's
always kept-
simulated?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
you
better
always
than
kept
the
your head?
average person would.
Yeah,
But
because
I've never
you're
been in a
also-
firefight.
Okay. Well, the point I'm getting at is that you have been trained. You have been trained by the U.S. military, which is supposed to.
He's
be-
been trained for 2,000 years or something.
He's been fighting for 2,000 years.
Yes!
He doesn't mean that he has a perfect understanding of everything.
I'm not expecting perfect.
You are.
Hey,
You
hold
are.
on.
That's the problem.
No.
You are.
He's like, oh my god, I'm fighting one of the immortals. I know I need to chop his head off. I'm gonna keep this in my mind when we're fighting the immortal.
And he's
I did not
saying
hit
that-
her. I did not.
I did not.
Okay, guys, that's enough.
Swing, swing.
Swing. Nope, I'm cutting it off.
Yeah.
It's time for a
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah.
Justin, yay or nay?
Damn it.
Obviously,
It's a sky ship, man. It's up in the air somewhere.
he's at
rates it
full
higher than
mass
me,
for this
man.
film. Joe, yay or nay?
It's
Does it sink or
it
does
so
it float?
sinks. It factually sinks, which yeah.
Boncher, does it float or does it sink? Overall,
Baby.
Chat.
Float. In the end, it floats. It may be leading a little bit to the scuppers, but it floats.
all right. AC, does it float or does it sink?
One's in the chat for float, two's for sink. I want you to keep in mind, did it entertain you when you watched it? Was it entertaining? Was
This
it fun?
conversation is more entertaining.
I am gonna say it floats.
Yeah, of course.
You almost changed your
Of course
mind.
you
I
do.
heard it. I heard it.
Does his vote count? He think right now.
Oh, we're going to go for the Democrat playbook now, are we? It voted against me. It doesn't count. Turn the machines back
No,
on.
because like with five, there's always a clear winner. Even though obviously, like Joe, you know what? I'm actually upset that you and I agree about this. We never really agree on anything. But we
actually
do agree on
surprised,
this.
Yeah.
I think like there are things about this film that I enjoy, but I would
Queen
never
soundtrack.
put this film in again to watch it unless it was for something like this.
Oh man,
That's
I
the
don't
truth.
watch it
So many
often,
more
but I
times.
do every once in a while get the itch for it. It's one of those films that I'll watch maybe once every 2 to 5 years.
I'm already telling my friends about it. I'm like, have you guys seen this? We gotta watch this.
No,
I'm
I had a-
We
I
don't
just
got it.
spreading
We
it.
don't
I had a-
got it.
I had a
Well
clean,
done,
decisive. I had a clean, decisive election this week. And my only rival was Highlander, but Highlander was tucked far away back with the dregs.
I
safely.
tried so hard
It-
to get people to vote for
It
Dark
came
Crystal.
alive. It
Nobody
came alive
tried
in
as
the
hard
last
as me.
half. In the back half,
Yeah.
in like the back quarter of the election, it came alive and it overtook me.
Justin
So my
said,
vested
this
interest-
is my thing, and he left it, and he won.
it's the
unjust.
movie that beat me, so it has to float, right?
It pains me to do this, but it's much like the vote to pick the movie. It's like we're fighting, making, doing effort, and they're just like, no.
There can only
No.
be one.
The only
No
people
effort,
voting are you.
and they win.
One for float. There can only be one.
Well,
Yeah.
this is a perfect example of our other topic for today, which is
Yeah.
style how we word it, style over substance.
Style over substance.
Yeah, in
Now-
a lot of ways, that is a lot of what makes Highlander fun.
I have
The
a
style
question
is
for you.
over a lot of the substance, but it still has substance.
If there's
F,
an
F is for
It has
fun.
bad
in
execution at
Ireland.
times.
if there's an
Yeah.
incredibly well-made movie, great acting, great script, blah 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 blah, but you're bored to tears, do you still call it a good movie? Or do you say that movie sucked? Don't watch it. It's boring.
Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane.
Guys, hear me out.
2001.
IP Man. That's a movie where it's more style. It's not like the story is there, but it's not really about the story, is it? It's about the
I have no
style
idea.
and how it makes it's fun, how it makes you feel. That's a movie where it's more style over substance. There's not a lot story wise going on. Not a lot. Like they don't get deep into character motivation or any of that. It's style over substance. Like in some ways, like I've heard people say that about Avatar, like the Blue People Avatar films as well. I don't agree, but I
Blue Dances
understand
with
why.
Wolves people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
dances and wolves in space.
So my example for the opposite take, right, is that Citizen Kane, which is on like every list as the best movie ever made, which it's boring. They even put this like loud screeching parrot in there to make sure that you're still awake because people probably fell asleep. Which my first time watching that did wake me up. I was in a film study class. And I was like, and then like after we're talking about how great this movie was and the techniques and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but it was boring. I don't like what.
You're
Okay,
boring.
Yeah, I will admit there's a cult of people that will focus on the technical achievements of a film over its actual entertainment value, and that's a problem at times for me too. Like 2001, hate that film, hate it. I like 2010 more than 2001.
You mean 2012?
What about
No,
1969?
No, 2010. There's a sequel to 2001: A Space Odyssey called 2010,
What?
the year we made contact.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna plug another YouTube channel. She just did this, named Jen Murray. She just did a first time watching 2010, and I haven't watched it since the movie came out back in the mid 80s, and this is the sequel to the Kubrick film. Kubrick's film 2001, as far as I'm concerned, sucked. Ugh. I
Not
hated
nearly
that
as
film.
good as his 19.
Boncher, I'll say what you
Yeah.
can't. It sucked cock through a straw.
I like the idea of a kazoo. That's funnier.
I've only seen the opening
Yeah,
scene for that movie.
2010. Yeah, 2010 with Roy Schneider. Excellent choice in casting. It had a decent cast. It had a more interesting plot, and it actually was doing
Rob
something.
Schneider.
Yeah, Roy Schneider,
Well,
whatever. Jaws.
Rob.
Like, well, we can talk about other films that are more
anyway.
substance over
Well,
style. Like,
Hold
Yeah.
on, real quick. You guys just mentioned 2001, right?
Yeah.
Let me know if you can
Yeah.
hear this. Echo, open the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Also, I'm not Hal, and we're not in space.
Nice, that's pretty
there
cool.
we go. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a balance, right? Like, you know, if you got a movie that's all, what's the topic again? I just
Style
remember
versus
style.
substance.
Substance, it's all substance, but no style. Like, get out of here, man. Like,
It's like you don't even need if you have good substance, you don't need that much style. Like, look at I'll talk about one of my favorite films, Gran Torino. It's mostly about the substance. It's not so much. It's not very stylized. It's a very kind of, in some ways, a bland looking and acting kind of film. In some ways,
Yeah.
but it's a it has a little bit of style, and it's a very, very good film still.
oh, I almost would disagree on the fact that I think it's more style.
I
Like, just the character in that movie brings style to it.
That's just Clint Eastwood.
I know that's style, and I think that's
Clint Eastwood is
the
style.
entertaining reason to watch it. Like, I don't really think it's the
They
necessary.
just took
substance.
he didn't even act it. He just took away his morning coffee and like, all right, here you go.
It's style,
He was Channel
style,
Dad
baby.
without his nap energy.
Hey guys, pound that pussy. Smash that like button.
Touch
Make
the
it
butt.
call you daddy.
Yep.
That's how we do here on the Iron Seas.
I say decapitate the like button, absorb all of its energy, and
there
become.
can
the
only be
universe.
one.
There
Yeah.
can only be one.
Well,
They're
then
aliens
it really
fighting.
wouldn't be effective because apparently, according to that movie, that doesn't really do anything.
Bill Armstrong says, by your standard, my grandpa has style.
It's a style. You just don't necessarily want to repeat it.
Well, like the best blockbusters combine style and substance. Like
Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, dude. I love
Well,
Wasn't a blockbuster,
we don't need to go that far.
It's a great
Okay.
film, but
Style.
No, that's
300.
that's a great example of mostly style over substance. That's
I
a
have
great
to refer
example.
back to 2 movies. that have-
1917. 300. We can do
Oh.
Style all day, dude. Style is one of my favorite type of
1900
movies.
300 is a
Oh,
great
300 is
example
a
of
great
style.
example. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
substance
Scott.
is terrible.
So is Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, so
Oh, no.
Well, hey, there's more substance to Scott Pilgrim.
what's the substance, Babs?
No.
Lay it on us.
Well, he
What
has
is it
to like.
teaching us? What's the moral? What's the grand?
Oh, yeah.
What's the grand?
AC
What's that has to
AC
do with the whole girlfriend and like not being that interested in him, and it's a whole love story.
he's
thing.
gotta
It's-
grow
there's
up, man.
substance to it.
Scott,
I'm a man. I've had women not interested in me. That's not interesting anymore.
He learns that he should be like fighting for the girl that's fighting for him rather than the girl that's
a
cuck.
Scott does not understand the one fundamental thing most men do. Be attracted to whatever girl you like, but mostly attracted to the woman who also likes you.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
How dare you?
Yeah, he's just going through the motions. He's like a loser, you know. He's living in his roommate's house. It's not his own. None of the stuff in it's his. The girl he's dating is still he's in high school, so he like mentally is still in high school, and it's just like this weird. He's in that space like in between travel locations, and through his journey in that he matures to the point where even Nega Scott at the end, he has to like face that part of him.
Become friends with Nega Scott.
Yeah, I love that scene. Man.
Yeah, he can't. It's not supposed to defeat him. He has to become friends with them. That's how he wins. But no, other stuff. I think Zack Snyder is a great topic here with how he had some stylistic movies.
There's substance in there because it's accurate for the most part to the source.
Which one?
300.
No, that's
No.
mostly style over.
You better do
substance.
Juniper Ascending, brother. You better do Juniper
style over
Ascending or
nothing.
something.
There is interesting history there. It's just not really true to whatever the film is going on about.
Oh, there's patriotism, self-sacrifice, courage.
No, there are themes, but
marriage,
marriage,
family,
is what brings
sir.
us together
Family.
today.
So swamped by the
Nationalism.
I'll give you a little bit of that, AC. I will
Yeah,
with the
it's all
substance.
there, brother. It's
But
propaganda.
but
for
Zack
that.
Snyder's
But
other
it is
movies
more
are just
style
zero.
than substance.
All right.
Yeah,
You
the
know
other
that's
ones
true.
I can't defend, brother.
I put 300 down with Sucker Punch for Zack Snyder.
Whoa!
Ooh,
Whoa!
no.
Over here with 300.
One is
Boncher,
much better
how
than the
dare
other.
you? How dare Snyder is a bit of a cock, but
Yeah.
some of his movies are good, at least worth watching.
The Watchmen was about the only film of his that I've ever seen that I'd consider worthwhile,
That is
and that's
pretty
purely because
It's-
he did.
I agree. I don't know.
300 is better
I don't know
than
if
that.
300's really worth watching anymore. Like
watch it.
during the time, it was such a crazy thing. But like now, like go watch something else.
You're really
then in front
giving off
side.
Battsauce vibes right now. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I almost walked out of Sucker Punch.
Not
I was
vouching for the
out of
movie with
theater.
300 dudes.
Yeah, it
Shirtless
was at least
dudes.
good enough to finish watching,
Pectoral
but
muscles.
it really didn't do much for me.
Yeah, no, Sucker Punch. Yeah, you're right to probably walk out on that. That was
I came very close. Yeah, what Wilder there is saying is Watchmen one of the best extended cuts ever made. I'd have
Oh,
to
you guys
agree with
remember?
that one.
You guys remember when Snyder
For
took a
comic
long, boring movie about superheroes and then made it even fucking longer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
more
didn't see
boring.
that.
League. I never
Yeah.
watched it.
I
I
never
didn't either.
watched it either. I know I watched part of it and I couldn't do it, dude. It was too much.
I watched it in theaters. I really enjoyed the movie, and then not only that, like I'm sorry that the source material was really that it was based off was really good. So it's like, hey man, like maybe somebody could do it better, but
So-
that's the
Well,
movie we got. I
remember,
think
you
it was
guys
a good
remember when they
depiction.
blamed Joss Whedon for that film like not doing very well? I'm like, he can make a good film. He came in late into the project due to a family tragedy with Snyder, and he couldn't save the
Oh,
film.
you're talking
It's
about
not-
Justice League?
Yeah, dude, that fucking film.
Yeah, well, we saw, and then Rebel Moon.
You mean Rebel Moon?
Rebel? Yeah.
Rebel Moon,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. All I can say, I have not watched the Superman film since Christopher Reeve played the role, so I wouldn't know.
Man of Steel has some cool things, but I have some really big problems with that film fundamentally. Like Superman.
It's the DBZ live action we need, but not the one we no. It's the one we deserve, but not the one we need. That's what it is.
It would be great for DBZ live action, but it's not
Yeah.
Great for Superman live action.
Right.
What's a good example of a movie that's substance over style?
Like I already said.
Yeah, we've already established actually. and I think you'll agree that you can have style over substance and it still floats.
No, substance over style.
Substance
The
substance
reverse.
over. Isn't that like The Godfather?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's
That's
what
a
I
good.
feel like. That's
Wow.
stylized a little bit.
Yeah,
But,
a little
like-
bit, but there was also just the time period. I feel like anything that's just a pure drama has to be substance over style because drama is just reality. It's just like
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's meant to, it's not like a superhero film or like some bombastic pulp like adventure. So
Oh,
like that's
Memento.
a better question.
Hold up.
Played,
Hold up. Memento. You guys watch that?
Wait,
movie?
that's got style, man. Yeah,
And
Memento's a
substance.
fantastic movie.
It's got both. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
You
so
can,
good.
Wow.
It's
no,
got-
a
it's
lot
got
of
both.
films have both, but
I
to which
watched it in
degree, which
order,
one
kinda
which one
boring.
is more dominant in a film?
That's fair.
That's a question.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. What's a movie with like all substance, no style? I mean, I brought up Citizen Kane, but
That's
I
a good example.
That's got quite
yeah,
a
but I
bit.
couldn't even like pay attention to even get the substance. I mean, I don't even understand like the whole idea of the movie. Just like, why are we supposed to care about what his childhood? Like, why are we supposed to care what Rosebud means? Why, like, who cares? But either way, I digress. Like, what's a movie? Another example of something that's substance over
Wait,
style.
Seabass,
We were
are you
able to-
talking about 12 Angry Men? What are you talking about?
Ooh.
Okay, right there.
Ooh.
That's a fantastic
That is
point of substance over style.
I dare you to watch that film and be bored. You will
Which
not.
version? Have you seen
I
both?
don't. I think so. I don't
Both
remember
of them
which
are
one is
equally
which.
good, but when you look at the cast of the original, you're like, jeez. But then, of course, you have the remake with Jack Lemmon and George C. Scott. You're like,
Are they both black and white?
no, the new one was done in color, and it's
Okay,
still
I never
has
saw that
solid.
one. I watched the black and white. I think
It is worth it because Jack
such a good
Lemmon
film.
and George C. Scott blow it up. Even Tony Danza has a small part that's worth watching in the remake of 12 Angry Men. I
Sucker
cannot-
Punch. Okay. Sorry, like I see 12 Angry Men, awesome movie, and then Battsauce or Seabat says it spoke to me as a woman having to deal with the less pleasant aspects of men in the world. I'm like, did it?
Substance over style. Lord of
about,
the
like,
Rings.
No.
Whoa, whoa!
That is
Whoa,
equal.
That's
That is
100% on both sides.
Yeah,
defend it.
that's a
The same way
defend
with
it.
the Matrix. The
I'll
same
defend
way
yeah,
with the
perfectly
Matrix.
balanced. That's what
I'll
that
defend
is.
it. Hold on.
Like Clerks is a good example, I think.
Its style. Its
That's
style
not a good
is just
example of
being a
anything.
really good movie. That's
I
Lord
like
of the Rings'
Clerks.
style. Hear me out.
That's
Hear
one
me
of,
out.
that's one of those
There's-
movies you really got to just sort of like that type of film.
Because
Yeah.
I rank
think
it.
about the closest you get to style is the reminiscent of the Catholic reminiscent music. That's like almost Gregorian chants. And that's just a
Which?
nod to Tolkien.
He's talking about Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings. But hear me out. All of its style is really just very high quality cinematography. That's all it is. It's not really style per se. We're like, my example of Memento is like it's told backwards. It has
Lord
this
of
like
the Rings
thing
has,
to it, right?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings style not only comes out of the prose that it adapts, it comes oozing off of the screen from its production
Yeah.
design.
From
It's
production
production
to
design,
music
just
to
Boom.
yeah.
Perfection
okay.
for what it is.
Well, there's
Moon.
like,
That was a good
big-
movie.
there's like large scope movies that came before, right? Like didn't Star Wars have like grand everything too back
It did,
at
and
its time?
it's not. It doesn't come from as strong of a like of a substance, but it has enough style that has enough substance
see,
and
yeah.
and enough bombastic style that it's beloved anyway. It's like if you take away the music, like take away one thing good, like one good aspect of Star Wars, and it probably isn't good anymore. Take away the music of Star Wars, it's probably not good anymore.
That would be weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that-
interesting.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's fun.
I got
don't
an
know.
example of that taking away of like a score. Legend. There are two cuts of it right now. The director's cut, which is out, and it's the only way you can get it, and
What's
then the original theatrical
Legends?
release. The original theatrical release has its soundtrack done by Tangerine Dream, which was a totally incongruous choice. I love it to death. It became a cult classic soundtrack. But now with the director's cut, they've replaced it with Jerry Goldsmith's original score, and it's meh. Jerry Goldsmith, the guy's an Oscar winner. He does outstanding soundtracks, but you put his music on top of Legend with Ridley Scott's visuals and everything, and it's meh.
Oh, I've never seen this.
I've never seen Legend.
Yeah, it's the only way you can buy it on 4K or Blu-ray. I mean, right now you can't get the original with Tangerine Dream anymore.
Ouch.
I think I have.
Yeah, and I when I watched it the first time, I got angry. I'm like, I bought this.
Is it a good film?
Legend?
Never. I've never even heard of it. I've heard
Legend?
a lot of.
Okay, first off, Tim Curry plays Darkness, the devil, in this, and
that's a good
eats
cast.
the scenes.
Of course, it's Tim Curry as the devil. Of course.
Oh, he is perfection. He hit Darkness is better than his version of Pennywise.
Yes.
His version of Darkness is better than Pennywise the Clown.
You've probably seen images of it.
Oh, everybody has.
I've never seen
gigantic
the movie,
black
but
horns.
Yeah.
I've seen the image, but I've never seen the film.
The movie it's a little too short, and I feel the plot line's a little thin. It's a little less of a. It's a little thinner than, say, Never-Ending Story, which is a classic '80s kids film, but this is definitely not aimed for kids.
I do like that film, though.
Oh yeah, I like it too. But but Never-Ending Story has its own flaws. But Legend is sort of the same way. It has that same sort of. There's something in it that you bite on, and it's like biting tinfoil in a way. Same with, and I hate to say it, but Dark Crystal gives me the same thing. It's like, oh, this has so many good things, but I don't know, what am I biting on that is not
bunch of gay puppets.
No,
they're at least, frankly, they're at least metrosexual, very ahead of their time.
There's a whole other gay puppet movie.
No, that film reinforces gender stereotypes.
So much style in there.
That film reinforces gender stereotypes. Wait, I don't have wings. Of course you don't.
Yeah, there's a good bit of Missouri Break. Boy loves girl, so does Demon.
Dark Crystal is kind of like, I'm going to make a comparison people are going to hate. It's kind of like Blade Runner for me. The production is on such an impressive level that it kind of makes you ignore other aspects of the film.
I mean, as far as I know, it's a pretty beloved movie. But honestly, I've never seen it. I watched the first episode of that show that came out a few years ago, and I just I nixed it. I was like,
that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Just watch the movie, consider it a one-off. Nothing else exists, and you'll
warn your wife. There is a weird naked puppet for about 0.5 seconds at some point, and someone out there owns that prop. I guarantee it.
I don't even remember that.
I'm in it for the Skeksis. They're based.
Okay, the Chamberlain is absolutely nightmare fuel when you think about it.
100%.
Yeah. It's the shit. It's
like the sets, the creatures, the animatronics, everything. It was a really interesting film.
Though I will say the Mystics bored the crap out of me.
They were wanted to lacking.
That's part of the thing that gets it. It's just there's something lacking to it. It was I got too much hippy dippy off of it. I got too much hippy off
your wife's last comment.
What did you think of the whole cosmic cycle? That shit's wild.
David Bowie's bolt still haunts me.
Still haunts me.
It haunts everybody.
Wrong film, but you're right. Wrong film.
Labyrinth.
Still haunts
now, there's a movie that if you take out David Bowie, it does not work.
100%.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
There's nobody else that could have played Jareth. I'm sorry. There still isn't.
Magic.
I don't know. If you replace him with Schwarzenegger, I'd probably still watch and enjoy it.
That would be a very
different. Me to have a.
That would be such a drastically different.
We got to get the baby.
Guys! Major news. With the election right now, bunch of mail-in ballots just came. We got news. Highlander. There's been a split decision, and we've determined now. I have the power.
This is nothing but pure communism. This is nothing but pure communism, and as they say, you can put yourself into communism, but you have to shoot your way out.
Boncher, real quick, quiet, silence. This is not communism. This is
a dictatorship.
I say one day voting, we make it a national holiday. We show the ID. You know, we
This
get
is
everybody to
National
say
Hate on Highlander Day.
what side
I
are they on,
declared
Highlander
you all
or
must
Dark
celebrate by
Crystal?
burning your copy every year until no copies remain.
I'm gonna buy them and just like hand them out to people.
I don't know
I'm
about
gonna
it.
say Kahuna
Yeah.
wanted you to have this. Kahuna really wants you to see this one. Kahuna wants you to see it.
I will
Everyone
lay
go
my
to
kahunas on your
local
forehead
Goodwill.
while you sleep.
I'm gonna
Everybody
go
to your
to
local
Highlander
Goodwill,
fan
buy the
pages.
copies, all the copies you can of Highlander, and mail them to Battsauce.
Imagine a warm, slightly raisiny grape just right on there. Anyway.
Great back
All
and forth going on in the
right.
chat right now, by the way.
Yeah, we're a little all over the place.
Wait, the chat's catching on. Wait a second. The Highlander looks over. I am the Senate.
So connected universes.
Ooh,
What are
connected universes.
Can we get connected?
Listen, I mean, Cosmere. We're not gonna.
It's the obvious modern answer, but it's really true.
But
It's really
is that
quite
not like a
close.
huge contributing factor to a success? Because
Uh,
it makes people want to invest in other books. Like
Pause,
it's not
pause.
a good initial.
I need
entrance, but-
context.
Oh,
I need
Cosmere.
context.
Sorry, that is Brandon Sanderson's
Fantasy world,
fantasy
interconnection.
universe. Yeah.
Okay, I need context on what you mean by connected universes. What is this pertaining to?
Different pieces of media that seem that are not directly correlated, but are still interconnected with some underlying aspects.
So
like
you're
the,
talking
like
shared
the,
universe?
the MCU, the interconnect, like
Okay.
chaos and
Stephen King's Castle Rock.
Stephen,
stuff.
yeah, I was
Got
gonna
it.
say Stephen King. Yeah.
Okay, now we got it.
Michael
Okay.
Moorcock, that whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, Stephen King's another one too. Like I feel like a lot of people
everybody
think-
needs a little more
Until
cock.
Needful Things. Until Needful Things, almost every novel that
AC
he
gets
wrote
it.
was inside
I
of
get
the Castle Rock universe. Needful Things, Stephen King decided, I'm blowing it up. And actually, it would be quite a good film.
Well, people want to invest into a universe. I feel like that's a thing, right? And not to
Only
mention
if
it's-
the individual pieces are good. If they're not, nobody cares.
That's true. I mean, obviously, you can't start with that premise, like, oh, I'm gonna just build a giant universe. But
See, Bats, I could have gone my whole life without just imagining the word bulge seared to the back of my eyelids.
With David Bowie.
I mean, there is a whole thing. Like, if you do, like, you can even start that planning that from the beginning, because, like, if you do it similar to how Brandon Sanderson has done it, like, your books don't necessarily rely on the other books
until you get
work.
to some of the later ones.
Yeah, but he
Then
already.
you do
But
see
yes, but he already had his success at that point, so it was a shoo-in at that point. And then it was just a plus. So what I'm saying is like having, like, if you're saying like, hey, this book is a part of a trilogy, right? I'm like, well, then the first book, if that's not successful, guess what? The third one ain't. But if you have a shared universe, your first book can suck. And then the second book that stands on its own, but hey, they share a universe, then like that could still be successful because they don't have to touch the first one that apparently sucks.
No one has to touch anything unless they want to.
Except for the like button. Touch that.
I'm confused.
Yes.
Molest the like button, ladies and gentlemen. I give you permission.
Caress it.
You're confused with shared universe?
I want that like button to in 20 years come out and say, this person touched me. That's what I want.
Wait, Bonchar, are you still confused on the premise, or?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, so why is Brandon Sanderson being brought up when this has been something that's been going on since
a big example.
Because he's the best modern example of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily the best. Not even close.
As far as
No, Boncher, he is undeniable.
Yeah.
He I just read his 50th published novel recently. His 50th.
I've never read a word he's written.
Oh, okay.
Oh well,
I've
you're missing out.
I've read a word.
No, I'm not. I don't really like fantasy that much. I'm more of a sci-fi author, believe it or not.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah,
his has a great
Despite
mix of.
having a fantasy series out,
Wait, he has sci-fi.
Definitely not.
He does
Yeah.
have sci-fi.
He has sci-fi. It's good. He has good sci-fi series.
Oh, yeah.
He has a lot of books.
And
Yeah.
it's
Not
like
all of his books are in the shared universe.
it's
not
like
all.
the name of the wind either, Boncher.
I
You're
mean,
not, like,
okay.
stuck in it. It's stuck in
What is it?
for a while. It's not like the name of the wind either, where you're just like trapped for a while because it's such a thick book.
Name of the I really like Name of the Wind, but I understand when people don't like it. Shut up.
I've never heard
You
of it.
fat little blubbery seal. I don't want to hear it.
He is a unicorn.
Clean shaven,
Rothfuss.
butter swimming. I don't
Patrick
know.
Rothfuss.
I lost.
Never heard of him.
Oh, okay.
He sucks. You don't need to hear about him.
He wrote one book and it's made his entire career. Then he wrote another book that was also quite good. And then it's been like people have waited longer for his sequel than for Winds of Winter.
Yeah, that's saying
which is
something.
a long.
He scammed a charity,
which is too bad. I really
That's
like.
worse than Martin. That's worse than Gurm. Gurm just says stuff, and then everybody's like, "Boo." That's all that happens with him.
And he actually produces different stuff.
He does
like,
write
hey guys,
still. He just isn't writing Winds of
He's
Winter.
like, "Hey guys, we're working on 7 more TV shows," and we're like, "Boo, boo, do it accurately, boo." Hey guys,
I'm gonna take a bash in my money.
Is that really how he sounds?
I don't know.
Not even close.
Oh.
Well, actually,
It's even
not that
funnier.
far off.
Wait, who are we doing?
George R. R. Martin.
Railroad Martin.
Well, he kind of does talk like this. Yeah, actually,
Shows your
this
best
is
railroad.
pretty close to how he sounds when he talks. So if you heard him
Shows your
explain
best
his
Railroad
books,
Martin.
You started off good and then you drifted off.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I only know of him by reputation.
So. What do you read, Boncher?
Yeah,
Science
what do you?
fiction and detective fiction mostly.
No fan?
Mostly my own stuff
You
because I
wrote
don't
a
have time.
fantasy book series and you don't read fantasy.
Do you have any connected
not-
universes?
Yeah, you got any connected universes?
Dream Nebula and a Kinawazi Saga. Both of mine are technically
Sick.
This is
Okay.
this is more here, but yeah, this
I
is
got you.
more what
I got you.
I read. A lot of classic pulp.
Oh, guys, it's
hot.
explicit. It's XXX. Steam and Steel.
Yeah. Let's see. If you want to know something else that I like to read, this is probably my favorite hard-boiled detective, Andrew Vax, his Burke series.
False allegations.
This one is, let's put it this way. When people saw Sound of Freedom for the first time and they were all shocked at all the terrible stuff, he's been writing about that stuff since the 1980s and doing it far better than that movie ever did.
Sick.
So, and I'll tell you, it will teach you a lot of what evil is going on in the world, because that's what he devoted his life to. He passed away he passed away during the pandemic. So,
Was that also shared universe?
actually, yes, it was. He had 2 book series in that: the Burke series, where his detective actually aged every book, and then he did one called
What, you don't like my walrus?
Oh, he did
You ever
another
see-
one
you ever
about
see
a
Puss?
man called Ghost. That was sort of a freelance hit.
I was just making a joke saying, asking if
sorry.
the child predator books are.
Otherwise, I am a big fan.
Shared
It's
universe.
I got to meet Will
It's the
McCarthy on
Epstein
Liberty
Chronicles.
Oh God.
The crust of the moon.
I guess. Listen, I think the point is, I don't think there's any real negative to making a shared universe.
Yes,
for your
there
books.
is. If you do a very bad job. Look at the MCU was good, and now look at it. Its interconnected aspect is actually one of the worst things about it now, because all these shit films are tied together into one big shit sandwich.
Yeah, but you could still go back and watch the old ones, and not to mention all that means is the shared universe is dead. They can make a new universe.
I'm learning the hard way that you can't pants your way through a shared universe. That is one thing that is painfully apparent writing. And now I'm on book 3, I'm book 3 of a trilogy in my Kinawazi saga, and going, oh God, how am I going to get myself out of this mess?
Right?
It's like boring or.
No, it's a case of I have to do some more research on some things. I'm about 30% into book 4, which is the 3rd book in the trilogy. Yes, I have a prequel, and then
flex it.
And then I sat there going, I sort of hit a point in 2 of the main plot lines, going, well, crap, I don't know enough about these characters, and I've been stuck on them. I hate that fact, and that's because I pantsed my way. I didn't plot it because I can't plot very well.
Without spoilers. Am I going to be satisfied after 3 books, or am I going to be asking? I need another book to.
You're going to be throttling me, saying, "Get this done."
That's your wife's job. I'll let her do that.
Wait, doesn't Highlander share the universe with
Braveheart?
Herman,
Braveheart.
stop putting lies into their heads.
That
How
was my
dare
claim.
you?
Yeah, I claim that. Yeah, Highlander and Braveheart were shared.
Oh, was that just you making
A lie is what it was.
I was having fun, man.
Oh, I thought you like read it. You usually do
Cat and
research on the show, so I'm like, oh, weird, interesting.
That's
No,
how it
that's
works.
not
It's
what-
called boiling the frog. It's called boiling the frog, Bats, and then
But I bet he's in. I bet he's in.
then all the
Braveheart
laws are
same
different.
way, Princess Rapunzel's in Frozen. I bet it's like that.
Except,
One frame, like that guy's wearing the same outfit.
It's Rapunzel.
yeah, Willow, a really great film with full of like interesting
Substance.
values and fun storytelling, followed by another film.
So here's
Well, okay.
another fun shared. Here's a fun shared universe that most people
Yeah.
forget, and that is the Aliens and Predator universes.
I said that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did? I missed
I
you
did,
saying
yeah.
that.
I missed it too. Yeah. So I mean, did that help Alien and Predator? Did it hurt it?
The
I
bad
think it-
waiting is what hurt it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that if anything,
The
the
idea
shared-
was cool as shit. We all
yeah.
agreed.
And it was done on a lark on the filming of Predator 2. They needed alien skulls, and somebody said, "Hey, can we grab this out of the prop warehouse from 20th Century Fox?"
Right.
And they just sort of said, "Sure, why not?" And they wheeled it in there. And I remember watching Predator 2 in the theater opening weekend, and that you see that wall of alien skulls, and then you see an alien skull, and just the entire
It was
Right.
audience.
It was
gasped.
cool.
Yeah.
It was
So-
the most epic reveal
So-
of a shared universe ever. It was like, yeah.
So great idea. Shared universes can be awesome. It's why like a lot of people have them, right? But more importantly, it would have benefited from giving that to like Spielberg or something, right? Like
Well,
somebody,
no, because like
big.
they're great people. Like it. The problem is to have a shared universe, you need to have people in charge of continuity, and you need to make sure that like a shared universe is great. You can have this thing that's like this, and then this thing that's very different. But the shared aspect has to be very closely monitored. Otherwise, it's going to be either like frivolous or at worst not make any sense at all.
Okay, you nailed it right there, and I can give you an example of one of the best shared universes, but it's limited in time, and that is Marvel under the executive editorship of Mark Grunwald, Jim Shooter, and Tom DeFalco. Those three guys, right in a row, did some of the best jobs managing the sandbox of up to 50 books at one time, and making sure no creator stepped on another, went kicking over anybody else's sandboxes, got everybody to play nice. The only thing that started falling apart is that when these men, they actually had a good vision for keeping track of this stuff. They kind of, once they got moved out, they started forgetting. People forgot, you can't do this stuff. And you ended up with Marvel of the 90s. God help us.
Right. Right.
there can only be half.
You and I saw that at the exact same time, and we both were trying to keep it.
So they're making Willow Highlander shared universe jokes.
Yeah.
There can only be half. Holy crap!
I heard Blade Runner also shares the Alien universe.
That's I don't know if Herman brought that up, Soldier and Blade Runner. I don't know if that's true. I thought that might have been when I saw Blade Runner 2049.
I didn't know.
And I saw the garbage ships, but then I saw a clip from Soldier, and it's like, nope, different design. Similar idea, different design.
That's where most people link it, is like the ship design, and then I think there's actually like the corporation. I think it's like the Wayland Corporation or something like that.
Well, that would link it to Alien.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Alien and Blade Runner.
Soldier and Alien could be together in that.
I've never seen Soldier.
The guy who wrote it called it a side sequel spinoff.
Are you talking about Universal Soldier or something completely different?
No,
So
there's a
spin-off
stars
shared
Kurt
universe,
Russell.
yeah.
Kurt Russell
Rust?
stars as sort of a bioengineered soldier that gets obsoleted by a new model, and so he gets dumped on a garbage planet, which actually has.
That sounds
settlers on
awesome.
there.
Why have I not seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Also, the big bad guy. The big bad guy is done by Isaac. No. He played Captain Hook and he played Captain Hook
Dustin
in one of the
Hoffman?
Peter Pan films. No. It's something. Isaac something or other. Oh, he's the nasty lieutenant in the Patriot. That's killed the
Isaac Calhoun or whatever. It's not
yeah,
but it's like that.
Yeah, Isaac something or other. I can't remember. He's in it, and Gary Busey plays his top sergeant, who goes Gary Busey on the place.
Definitely gonna. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna add this list. Hopefully, it shows up in one of our polls.
Soldier is a lot of fun. Jason Isaacs, thank you.
Yeah, but so yeah, with shared universes, I do kind of tie that up. Just saying that like it really feels that it's nothing but it's a plus. It adds something to your story writing. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's a lot of work.
High risk. It's a high risk, potentially high reward system.
And it's also low. Like as far as anything else, it's kind of low risk because.
That's what I was going to say.
No, because you can.
I'm not saying there isn't risk.
Relatively low risk.
But like even so, you can even do the thing where you like you plan to connect them, and then like part of it is so bad, you're just like, oh, actually, that's not part of the universe. It's a collection of Highlander shorts.
I saw that too.
Oh god! I think the only way they could get worse if they cross universe with Time Bandits. And no, the remake does not exist.
I just bought that. I haven't watched it yet.
You know the universe that should have been shared. What? Twilight and Blade. That would have made those movies tolerable.
Yes. Bambo has the T-shirt, and then Buffy staked Edward. The end.
Yeah,
I think another idea with shared universe is like to try to do it with other authors. Obviously, the risk becomes a lot higher then because working with people not always the best, and you could have falling outs, and then whatever happens with licensing if you even get that far. But I mean, if you're attacking thing from now you're attacking something from two different sides. You double the effort, maybe double the whatever. So that to me is more of like a high reward, high risk. Right, because it business dealings with people.
Well, like there's some people tricky. like Child and what's his face?
Lee Child.
Yeah, they always write books together. Like
always. I got something to toss out.
Low risk.
I got something to toss out for you. Then one of the publishers, one of the small publishers. Well, he's up and coming. Chris Kennedy Publishing is the ones that are doing the. What's called the Four Horsemen universe. So if you want non-battle text, stompy mecha military sci-fi, the Four Horsemen universe, they got like 100 books out in that series, all done originally by Mark Wandry, and then they brought in a whole bunch of other authors, and they've been doing trilogies, rapid release of these books in a shared universe for the Four Horsemen universe. Fantasy actually has their big fan club banquet where everybody shows up in garb from that universe. And a lot of those people have been Tuckerized into the books. So a lot of fans get made into characters that may or may not have survived.
I always thought that was a cool idea. Yeah.
Yep. I've only Tuckerized one person.
I've had it happen to me once or twice now, only in minor ways. Maji made me an evil water spirit, which is nice. She's like, I made your character, and I'm reading, I'm like, you made me an asshole. She's like, yeah.
That's what it says on the tin of spam.
Yeah. It's like, I'm an evil water spirit. I require payments for the bargain. Spam. We have spam.
It is getting to that time, boys, but before we get to that time, Boncher!
Yo!
Plug away.
Plug
Not
away.
On camera.
Well.
There you go.
You can find my books online, Amazon, other places as well. So here's the book 1 and 2 of my trilogy.
The covers are awesome for 2 and 3.
Who's your artist?
A guy by the name of Paganus out of Sarajevo, of all places.
Nice.
So
those were words for sure.
And and then of course we have my Tales from the Dream Nebula, which Kahuna absolutely adores. These dinky little things.
I love them. They fit right in my back pocket, even when I don't have a back pocket.
Yeah.
And these
so
are
roughly how many words are those? They're like
these are between 40 and 50,000 words. So I call them one night reads. And of course, this lovely little cover.
That's the best.
That's
Oh,
got
I think I
nobody-
have seen that,
That's got
actually.
so many attention.
There's
Maybe on
so
Comic Shop, I
there's
think
so
that's
much there. There's so much there. So much there going on in that cover.
Lots of giving.
Tremendous amounts substance.
I looked at
Boobs.
that.
Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
I love that clip.
Exactly. Holly does her job. But yes, that those two book series are out right now. You can get them direct from my printer if you want, from my website. You can go there at as link is there in my tag, www.residentmedia.art. And then you can also get it on Amazon if you so choose. Otherwise, find out which cons I'm at, and we vend them there, and you can get them signed. So, otherwise, I do have music available on Bandcamp that I do under the name Resonant One, and you can download that there. Other merch is available under Resonant One on the Spring Store, so you can get all these links through my blog. And of course, I got Substacks. I got myself a Substack. I got a Facebook. God help me. And I'm not happy about that at all. But
Proud of you.
if that's where my readers are, I'm gonna go where the readers are. So.
That's what I hear. I'm like, man, do I have to get back into Facebook? Like,
I've had Facebook since 2007, but I really don't want to go back.
yeah,
I'm not happy I went back, but
I hear there's readers there. Yeah, it's
yeah. That's actually where I go and talk if I need to. That's where I'm usually able to get the contact on most of the conventions that I go to, stuff like that. So it's unfortunately
I hate social media. I hate this stupid game we had to play. Like,
authorship. There are no.
I agree.
That's one of the things when I was at LibertyCon talking with publishers, and they're doing their lectures up front on that, and said, listen, the days of being the closeted author hiding out in a shack in the woods and going full Unabomber are gone. You are done. You can't do that anymore. You have to be your own businessman in that. You have to be your promoter. You have to be your own marketer. And yeah, you can work with a publisher, but they aren't going to do the heavy lifting for you anymore. They will do some of the lifting for you. And if you want your book, you get
feels like
sold.
they don't do any lifting.
Pretty diminished
a lot of
returns
them,
in
yeah.
that regard.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bigger the company, the less likely they're going to do anything for you, because unless you're famous and unless you can bring a guaranteed millions of dollars of sales, they ain't going to put any money into you.
Unless you
They'll
got
barely
that
give you-
social credit score, am I right?
No, not even then. Unless you basically come in with a name that can instantly make $10 million, they aren't even going to give you
Social credit score.
Well,
that's what I mean. Like,
basically
you got a subscriber count of 100,000 followers. Oh, looks like your social credit score is just high enough for us
Well,
to
it's like
publish
what's
your
the
book.
metric for you? Like, there's someone put together a metric for people selling things on YouTube to their audience, and on average, they can only 3% can be reliably counted on to buy anything that person makes or sells. 3%. So, like, obviously, with people like us, like, we're a smaller group, a bit more dedicated, so it's going to be different. But like, that's why someone like Daniel Green was able to make a pretty good chunk of change off of his books, because he has a pretty large audience in that regard.
If you're a content creator, you're going to get farther. And then the rest comes down to whether or not you're famous for something else. I mean, I'm not saying this is a diss, but this is part of why Eric July is as popular and as successful as he is.
He had a big platform.
Yeah, he had a huge platform going into it, and that's a great thing. Brandon Sanderson, same thing. How is it that he made millions of dollars on a Kickstarter that he didn't even talk about? Because everybody was watching for him. Everybody.
He made he
I
raised like
recognize his skill.
$46 million for 4 projects without names at the time. He knew them, but he didn't let us know. That's freaking insane. In fact, we're like, a bunch of us are reading one of those books right now.
Yeah, Bill is right there. This is why we need to show for each other. This is why shows like this are very important to indie authors. This is why you have to look. This is why, for instance, this year, my writing goals are: I got one book that at the end of the month I gotta send in a submission for a publisher that I'm working on, and I have on Friday I have the deadline for a short story. I'm looking at anthologies. And this is, unfortunately, the route to go is start looking at smaller publishers. There are a lot of smaller publishers out there that are looking for newer writers that have done, the Iron Age indie author thing, but they need to go to that next level, and they're looking for you. they are seriously looking for you. So I'll sit there and show for them. Say, hey,
Isn't that kind of the goal? Be a small publisher, but that, or kind of become a publisher for yourself. And if you're successful enough, start doing that for other people too. Isn't that
that is the way a lot of them do it.
So I want to bring up this comment, and we do need to show for each other, and that's why we all make an effort to. It's part of what the show does, but it's like self-reflection right here, right? These shows don't get the readers necessarily, especially at our point, but like that's the vast majority of these shows. Yeah. Now, and like something that we're trying to do to help improve really just only helps the channel more than anything is like
China.
Yeah, try to chop up the clips because those can get some more views than this show. Because, like, we'd be lucky that this show once not live, we get maybe like if we can get close to 100, right? But even so, it's like how many of those people are just clicking, how many they actually like watching the show, and then how many people are getting to the point where BONCHER's shilling his stuff and talking about it. It's just it's like a sad reality of where it's just like we can put a lot of effort in, and we should, and we're going to continue doing it, but it's like. The reality is, especially right now, it's not the return that some people might think it is. If that made sense.
Yeah, mostly.
Like I think you get way more value, like what you did going to the Comic-Con this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Than going to like a bunch of shows.
Yeah, you never can tell. I mean, okay, going to Big Lick, it was nice to have those guys kind of run up and go, "Hey, cool, awesome," but sales wise, it was way down. It was way down. I talked to a whole bunch of other vendors, and they were all feeling it too. And that's mostly the economy going on right now too.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say it's like
they just had a stock market crash.
87. Yeah. Good God, that's sort of like
that sounds like a great time to buy a book. Let me go.
That's like buying a T-shirt on the Titanic after it hit the berg. It's just like okay, this is going to be a rough 6 months if we're lucky, and longer if, shall we say, the wrong people.
I think one of those T-shirts would have been significantly discounted. I call that a bargain.
A little bit.
Well, and this is the thing, right? Time and resilience, right? Like use this time because eventually the economy is going to stop going down. It's going to go back up. And do you want to be like actually already have made like a fight into trying to reach out when it starts to get high, or do you want to start right then? It's like start right now. It's what I'm
journey, strength before weakness, journey before destination. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is all stuff that you need to be helping other people with, but also I mean, you said it
well. Yeah, and it's like
buy the stanks. What do you mean by that?
Stonks. It's a reference to game stonks.
I thought he said stanks. I'm like, that's a wild thing to say.
Yeah. You gotta buy the stanks, man.
Well, buy the stanks.
Don't get into the mindset where it's like, well, this is a bad time to do it now because we're at a low point. It's like, no, it's never a bad time. Always start.
Yeah. Keep moving forward so you don't lose ground now.
And then there's always this thing where it's like, well, because I did this with YouTube forever, right? Where I'm like, oh, YouTube's way too big now. There's no point of starting a channel now. And it's like, I've been having
that forever.
Forever. I've had that mindset essentially like 15 years now, where it's just like I've seen all these big YouTubers like when PewDiePie
animation. I swear to God.
When PewDiePie was like at like 1 million subscribers, it was like, wow, like there's just no. It's just too big now. Like
I started following him when he was at 9,000 subs.
That's insane.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I want to say,
keep at it. Don't be, burdened by what has been.
Yeah, you could be just like.
All right. At that, all right. Who has anything to say before we take off? Any last words? It's like
he's disappearing. He's leaving.
No!
The short must just hit something.
Anyways, hey, you can catch me tomorrow on the Bat Cave. I'm going to be talking about Brandon Sanderson again. We're just always going to be talking about
Hey
Brandon
guys,
Sanderson,
real quick,
right?
rebranding. We're gonna call it the Sauce Cave, okay?
Sauce Cave.
Everybody put a Sauce Cave in the chat. Just
Sauce Cave. Yeah.
And I've also made a video that's gonna shoot off tomorrow, probably right after my stream. It's a not a review. I'm talking about something. It's a book that probably all you guys know about, but yeah, stay tuned.
And he loves it.
I love it. I love it. It's my favorite book that I've read.
Clear Tales of Morality.
The Short Cave. Holy shit.
Short.
I'm still on this theme.
All right.
No, like the short bus, the Short Cave. Yeah.
I thought it was
AC, are you showing up on anyone's show in this week?
Yeah, just
Belmont
Belmont of
Comics.
Belmont Press Comics. Me and my wife are showing up on there as a team. She's my editor, so she edited the comic that I'm currently promoting.
Is she going to have you on her leash, or is that a different show?
That's a different show. That's
checking.
behind the scenes. Sir.
That's exclusive content.
Yes.
Only on Patreon.
You have to sub to the pub for that. So yeah, sub to the pub.
I'm so sorry.
Funmycomic.com/ASOS. Help me get to the $1,000 level, because then we'll have all the funds available to get all the variant covers.
Push!
There's a art contest going, so if you're an artist, submit something for your chance to get a pile of loot from the campaign and a full page splash spread with all your information on it. And
I'll have
it's
you
like a
know,
big old
I
advertisement
expect
for you.
an orc pinup on the side of a model spaceship.
You really should do
I may
an
not
orc
get it,
pinup.
but-
I mean, honestly.
Oh,
that would be hilarious. Yeah.
When does your campaign
Dude,
end again?
an alternate like
9/11.
art for the bone, like it's the
so
bone ship
yeah.
all old and regal made of bone, and then like on the side it's like a painted.
Emily,
Like Titanic.
I assume you're probably going to be on this really gay show this week, like as always, even gayer than the Iron Seas.
Ask not how gay the show is for you, but how gay you can be for the show.
Yes, so I am Justin, but I make music under the name Evely. You can find my music on all streaming platforms. There are 3 instrumental chip-tune rock albums, and my newest release is metal with influences from Japanese rock, melodic death metal, 80s metal, K-pop, pop punk, and post-hardcore. It's heavy at times, melodic at times, sort of like Dance Gavin Dance meets Soilwork meets Asian Kung Fu Generation. If that sounds interesting to you, please go and give it all a spin, and if it sounds like something a friend of yours might be interested in, send it to them. And yes, as
Imagine a Korean girl in a pop band over there. Combine it with a loser dad who's nostalgic for 80s metal and is behind on child support payments. And that's
Make her
his
an
music.
orc. Make her an orc. And yeah.
Yes, and I also co-host Iron Age Nights Friday nights on Drink with Crazy's channel with Royce and Daniel P. Riley. We hang out with all sorts of indie creators, artists, different.
You like us better though, obviously.
The show's a lot more laid back for sure, but it's because it's just a different vibe, different goal.
vibe. All right, hey Kahuna, before you take us out, I just want to say one last thing. Boncher, do you have anything last you want to say?
No, you let me pitch myself, and I
Okay.
showed away.
I want to make sure our guest is taken care of. I'm a gentleman.
Yes,
No,
sir.
but last thing I just want to say, hail to the freaking chat. You guys are killing it. Another week. You guys just are really making the show awesome.
But
keep it up, guys.
And if you
Keep
know
it
other
up.
fun people, invite your fun friends, and they can come and add to the chaos.
Hey,
Yeah, invite your friends; they can come.
All right, Kahuna, take us out.
I didn't think I needed that.
On that note,
That just makes you a beta cuck.
this has been Kahuna, Boncher, AC, Battsauce, and Everlay music on Iron Seas Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, hail the chat! No, I'm not Royce. The chat's not gay. You are awesome. Come here again.
You bet your sweet bippy I did.
Oh, damn it! AC, stop clicking when I'm trying to click!
Guys, I don't know what happened. Oh no!
I thought you were using